into it. Wow, there we go. Oh, son of a gun. Gosh darn it. Welcome to the den. I'm glad you guys are here. It's great to see you guys. I mean, awesome. It is splendiferous. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. It's your boy Honcho. I gotta cut the light on so I don't look too dark. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I unplugged the light. Unplug the light, and that's not right. Well, just 1 second. Right, there we go. I plug the light back in. I plugged the light back in, my friend. We're gonna have a stream tonight. We're gonna talk about do the men do they have the whole face? And why I still got this in the background? Huh? Why I still got these in the background? I don't even know what this is. The niggers, they be rioting, they don't listen. You tell them that's bad for your community. They don't listen. They say, Papa, you don't know me. I'm a do what I wanna do. The government will tell me what to do. Yeah, I'm definitely on. So Anyway, give me just a second. Let me put a better background back. Let's put something peaceful and serene. Let's put something nice and pleasant. I got some good. Okay, we're gonna take things back, way back in the day, the old way of the den. Used to get it in. If you've been a friend in the den, then you already know where I'm. Matter of fact, we're gonna put the H style back here. All right, cool. Bet. All right. All right, bitch is big and motherfucker. Yeah, y'all see, I do this. I'll do it live, baby. Fuck it, we do it live. All right. Anyway, so like I said, we're gonna be talking about quite a bit of tomfoolery and shenanigans. We're gonna talk about the whole phase, right? We always talk about women having women had the most phases in era. They got just a bunch of in their soft girl era. What kind of stupid shit is I don't know. You know who says this stuff. I be trying, I honestly like look. I really do my best. I promise. I try my best not to be like a basher. Or then I start thinking. Right. I start thinking about shit. I'm like, this shit just don't make no sense. Shit just be so dumb. And I gotta say something. I gotta say something about it. I can't help it. I gotta say something about it. But anyway, let's see what we got in the chat. Like I said, we're gonna talk about, do men have a whole phase? I don't think what you think is the answer that you think it is. So yeah, there's that. And again, if you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation in the entire world. Like if you're here, you're in the best conversation in the world. And I truly believe that because after the den, it's one thing to be in a chat. Like after the den, we get in the Discord and people actually have I won't say face to face, but verbal conversations, like actual voice. It's always very interesting to me to see how the dynamic plays out because it's people from every background, all kind of, it's almost every type of person in the den, right? And so when those discussions happen, you get to see different perspectives. You understand why people think the way they do. It's a beautiful thing to me. Like I like to see, I would say psychology in action. But I just like to see how people interact, right? Because most of the time we're in our own little echo chambers where everybody reiterates the same shit, right? So we want to hear what we want to hear. But when you go somewhere and you can have a genuine conversation, and we're not going to end in agreement like me and Kim. We talk quite often, right? Y'all see calls in, and we generally end in a agree to disagree, right? Or Broderick. He's always wrong about everything, but we still let him keep coming back and vocalizing his opinion. The thing about it is everybody's welcome here. So like if you're on the sidelines, you just kind of watching, but you don't participate, you're afraid. You're afraid to get in the lines in. Come on into the den. Come on into the Discord. Everybody's welcome in the Discord. Um, it gets vicious, but big dog, you'll be all right. Let's see what we got. And then I'll put the Discord link in the thing. I'll pin the Discord link to the top so people don't have to keep asking for it if you're not in there. All right, HT Jason, aka the artist formerly known as Dr. Rabbit, the very lovely Miss Sarah Lou. How are you doing this evening? What to do, aka Mr. Man Up? Y'all look forward to next Wednesday. That was a classic. Me and Man Up classic. It's been a long time. The lovely Miss Cartier White. How are you doing this evening, ma'am? The lovely Miss D the Gamma. Let's see. The lovely Miss Northside Bell, Southern style. My ass. Heidi's here. Broderick. Broderick is the official moderator of Tubi Tuesday. I give you that. But you're the official moderator of Tubi Tuesday, Broderick. I feel like that is your lane. That's all you. So shout out to Broderick. 335 in the building. Peace. It is I. Let's see. Uh Delta Echo Golf, Roger Charlie, Gnarly, whatever. Good to see you. The Baker Man in the building. Shout out to the Baker Man. Let's see. Make the background tortured. No. The lovely and wonderful Miss Great Grace joining us. Let's see. That's a terrible person. The lovely Miss Patricia K. How you doing? Kansas City. It was bad enough when Shannon was from Kansas City. We got multiple Kansas Cityans. Interesting. Let's see. I hate you. Um, mm, oh my goodness. Oh yes, Miss K Garcia. Garcia. The lovely Miss K Garcia in the building. All right, so all right, we had our fun and had my sniggles and giggles. Let's talk about it, man. Dre, international Dre, international player Dre, joined to play away. Shout out to my boy Dre. Me and Dre was playing putt putt earlier in the thing. And Dre beat me several times. I'm gonna get my revenge after the Discord. I mean, after the stream, when we get to Discord, I'm getting my revenge. Any of those of you who would like to join us for putt putt, feel free. Let me get the Discord link. But what are we talking about? We're gonna talk about the whole phase, right? Do men have a hoe phase? Now, y'all know how I do. I will go on a tangent. I will go on a rant. I will go on a tirade, right? A real man monologue. Y'all call it mansplaining. Um, oh, what kind of gobbledygook is this? I'm actually still in the den. I never left. See, that's how much I was in the Discord. All right, let me get this link. See, I can't beat me to the Discord because I'm already in that bitch. I done started streaming that bitch. I'm just gonna stay in that motherfucker the whole stream, and then I win, right? So y'all can't beat me to the Discord if I'm already in there. So I won again. I'm like masterminding myself right now. That didn't sound appropriate, but anyway, let me drop the link in here. Blue kitty. Oh, that's definitely that's link. But we're talking about phases, right? We say people go through phases like they're the damn sun or some shit. This is the sun is now in the full moon, waning crescent. It's about that time of year when the fall horizon, the days begin to get shorter and the nights end up being a little bit longer. Anyway, enough damn planets and shit. So all these phases and way, like, that's just who the fuck you are. Let's stop all the phases shit, right? Let's get the well. Women don't have phases. Only men have phases. Right? Women don't have phases. That's just their nature. We've established that, right? But uh, yeah, I don't know if I might have to take it there, man. Up, but let me put the Discord link. Blickety blah. There you go. And pin that to the thing. But anyway, so talking about hoe phases. Do men have hoe phases? And I'm gonna give y'all an option, right? This is a participation show. And like I say, y'all know I'll go on a rant, I'll go on a ramble, I'll talk for 45 minutes and ramble incessantly about all kinds of things. So I'm gonna give y'all the option. Do y'all want the rant or do you want the straight answer? So if you want the straight answer, give me a 0. If you want a rant, give me a 1, and I will explain. Either way, I'm going to give y'all your preference. I'm going to give you about a minute while I sip on my tea and prepare my goods for whichever is chosen. So let me see. Let me pull this. I'm going to give y'all about 30 seconds to get your votes. And some of y'all aren't. Make sure you look in the bottom of the screen where you look at where it says live. Make sure that little red button is lit, not like dimly, but fully red, because you could be watching the live but not be live along with the live. And so sometimes I notice people will be kind of like a little bit behind live. And I'll be seeing y'all in the chat. So, it is what it is. Mods can't really, Heidi. This is the den. This is the most unbalanced, off the cuff. I mean, if it wasn't for 325, do I really have any moderators? Do I really have moderators? Well, it's not a button. It's like a little light next to the word live. But if you heard it that quickly, you probably are. You probably are live. Yes, we have the God mod and the fraud mod. So, yeah, we figured out who is what and what is who. All right. So, twos. I see 1.5. Well, if y'all don't, I forgot. I got to start making this. See, as we discovered on Tubi Tuesday, I have to make the decisions around this camp, right? So I'm going to rant. Not too long. I'm going to give y'all a balance. I'm going to give y'all a little bit. I'm going to give you the answer, and then I'm going to rant about the answer a little bit, right? And the answer is no. Men cannot have a whole face, right? Cannot happen, right? Let me correct that. Let me correct that. And not being funny, not being whatever. Straight men cannot have a whole face, right? I'll just leave that at that. You figure out the rest. But straight men cannot have a whole face. And to even compare it, because the reason why is the key part of hoe is whole. All right, that's my rant. I'm out. That's my TED talk. That's my Ed talk. I'm about to walk. I appreciate y'all for coming in tonight. Y'all keep it real. Tell your mama I love them, and I see y'all when I see y'all. But no, um, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Men cannot have a hoe phase, right? Men don't have the capability of being hoes. It's impossible. Women like to call men hoes because it makes them feel like the playing field is even, but in reality, it's not. It is a hoe is a bitch that gives it up easy, right? She gives it up easy. You get what you want out of her easily, which is for most men a nut. A man cannot be a hoe because as a woman, you may be able to get access to the man easily. But 9 times out of 10, you're not getting what it is exactly that you wanted. So the man that may fuck you, right? He may not please you. He may not get you the nut that you want, right? He may not get you off. So then you just gave up some pussy in turn, and you trying to call him, well, you became the hoe because it didn't go. So the whole activities is like the I'm rubber, you're glue type situation when it comes to men and women. I mean, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but it's always going to bounce off of me and go back to you. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, right? I don't make the whole rules. If I did, I'd be the biggest pimp in the world. Probably wouldn't be on the show. I don't make the whole rules, right? I wish I could. I wish I could. I don't wish I could fix them. They're fine as they are. But no, seriously, because a man has to work for sex, period. And so you say, well, they can just pay for the pussy. Well, he had to work to get the money to pay for the pussy, right? A woman can literally walk outside, bend it over, bust it open, and men will come running. May not necessarily be the men you want, may be some of the men you want. Who knows, right? Who knows? But a man does not have that ability. And since a man does not have that ability, therefore, he cannot be a whore, right? He does not have the ability to just create that type of energy and activity by simply just existing, uh, not contributing anything but what you were born with. Men can fuck. They can be, maybe they could be Dixmen. They could be poor penis purveyors. Whatever it may be, it doesn't matter, right? Because they have to work to get the sex. Whether the work comes easier or harder for some men does not make them more or less of a whore, right? We all know the saying, or we should know the saying. We know the difference between a master key and a master lock, right? Um, and so if you haven't heard, it's pretty simple. A key that can open any door is a master key, right? So if a man, the key holder, women keep things under goods, under wraps. They're supposed to be the prize, right? They're supposed to be special. So things that are special should be under wraps, should be protected, should be, more difficult to have access to. It should be rarer, right? Um, so therefore, to access that rare gift and to be a person who is skilled at accessing that rare gift makes you talented, right? If you're a lock that can get opened by any key, that makes you a shitty lock, right? So if you're a woman that's not protecting the treasure and you're making it easy access, it doesn't make you. I hate when women say, oh, I'll be pulling niggas. Women can't pull men. They don't know how. They don't, and it's not you that it's the pussy that pulls. It's not you. It's not the shit you say. It's not the things that you necessarily do. It can be the way that you do it, right? It could be the way that you do, but it's not necessarily the things that you do. And so I know women don't like to hear it. I know it makes you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I be pulling niggas all the time. But yet they never stay under your terms, right? So explain that to me. Um, so With that being said, I personally do not believe that men can ever have a whole phase. You're either a man who is good with women or you're not. Period, right? Can women be charming or intelligent at all? I think women can be more intelligent than they can be charming. Most women are not particularly like, I think there are more intelligent women than there are charming women. Right. Charming is the ability to, 'cause I don't want to say attract, because it doesn't even have to be like in a romantic way. But a charming person can attract people to want to actually be around them for their personality, right? Um, so what do you call a man who's going all over? Big dog status. They call him, a player. They might call him future. I don't know. But to me, charming is a person who can draw you in with their personality. They don't have to necessarily be good looking. They don't necessarily have to be rich or anything like. You genuinely want to be around them for who they are, right? Because of the way either you feel around them, they make you feel, just the energy that they exude. That's kind of how I see it, right? You think you're charmed in it. See, here's the thing with women too. Like women, y'all listen to other women's advice about men, and men have been telling you it's so simple. It's really truly so simple, right? But what happens is you hear a lot of women say, "Well, I did all this, and I did all this, I did all this, right, for that man," and all, and she may have, right, but she didn't tell you how she nagged the fuck out of him, how she nitpicked every fucking thing he did, and undermined this or did that, and so you may have done the good, but then you do the bad. So that's why the man goes off. And I'm not saying it's validated, right? I'm not saying it's validated. You go somewhere else and go find happiness somewhere else. So you go get to doing something else, right? So you may have done. I was a good woman. No, you can do all those things and still not be a good woman, right? You can cook and clean. You can take care of home. You can raise kids and still not be a good woman, right? So all those traits don't make you a good woman, right? Because again, raising, there's different levels to it. You can do the bare minimum and raise your kids. You can do the bare minimum and cook for your kids. You can do the bare minimum, or for your man or whatever. And so my thing is like, you don't really know the nuances. A lot of women think they are better than what they are, right? And this is not like a woman bashing thing. I'm just being honest. But in reality, and I'm not saying this because it's actually funny because the den women. I'm not saying just because y'all in the den. Um, like it, and I think a certain type of woman gravitates to the den because it seems like the majority of the women in the den have a personality. They are funny in their own right. They're just they're different. Most of the women in the den are not like most women you come across. There is a huge segment, and fellas, I don't know y'all's dealings with women, in y'all's history. I don't know, if you big dog status, you still a puppy on the porch. If you sniffing in the grass, you might have hiked your leg up a couple times. I don't know where you at on the food chain, right? But I think every man who has dealt with at least or at least more than one woman, I'm not even saying physically like at an intimate level, but if you dated more than one woman, I think almost every man in here could vouch and say that there are a lot more boring personality lacking women than there are men, but you can't say that about women because then you're looked at as a bigot. A lot of women, I've said it before, if they didn't have titties, if they didn't have ass, if they didn't have pussy, it wouldn't they wouldn't be interested. They'd be incels. Nobody would fuck them because a lot of these women are very basic. They're very dingy. Women tend to follow other women. They don't tend to think critically a lot of times for themselves. Um, and I'm not saying this to be a dickhead, but I'm just like follow the trends. Women tend to do whatever other women are doing. That's why the commercials are marketed to women. That's why the products are marketed. That's why there's more stuff pushed towards women because they're easily to influence. They're easier to convince into things. And so a lot of times women are out there not thinking. And it depends on how you were raised by your father. You know, A lot of times women are sheltered from things, experiences, and they don't know because somebody was always doing the thinking for them or doing the actions for them. And then I know somebody goes, well, not me, Honcho, because I'm not talking about everybody, right? I'm not talking about everybody. So this is a not all thing. And of course, we all have our own personal stories. But that's why I'm saying the overwhelming majority, right? Um, so it is a lot of women are boring as shit. Fellas, if you are in here, if you agree, give me a 0. If you disagree, no, wait. If you disagree, give me a 0. If you agree, give me a 1. Would you say the majority of women are boring? Take away the physical features that interest you. If we're just talking about personality wise, are the majority of women that you've come across boring? 0 for no, 1 for yes. And I'm saying this because you got to understand what women tend to find interesting is what they find interesting. And a man doesn't listen or he doesn't care if you don't get into what she's into, right? It's not about, hey, let me introduce you to something that's better for you or that's not rotting your brain away watching a bunch of other hens cackle at each other about nothingness. Hey, let me teach you something. Or, hey, let's build or let's grow together. Let's do something like that. I used to do a thing. This was a while back. And I would talk to chicks, right? And I would say, it was three things. It was like, what are your dreams, goals, and hobbies, right? Like, so you have a dream, you have a goal, you have a dream is kind of more out there. A goal is something you're actually working towards, and a hobby is something that, you know, that you. Do you know how many women could not answer any of that? And I'm not saying these are not stupid women. These are women who are educated, other than getting further in their education or pursuing something more into their career. And I'm not knocking that, but that's not personality. So a lot of times women get invested into whatever it is they've kind of committed to. Education ain't interesting. Like unless you're a teacher and then that's your occupation, but you continue to pursue it. I don't care about that. As a man, I don't give a shit. As like I said, or getting more into your career. So because they don't really, and I hate to say it, but a lot of them not. Like look at most women when one woman changes styles, every other woman is doing everything that they're doing, right? So dreams, goals, and hobbies. Hobby airport. That's the only thing they know. They want to go. They see other women travel. That's the only hobby they know is hobby airport. they want to go travel. Notice I said hobby, not bush. Anyway, so what do we got? Yes, yes, yes. Heidi with the 3. Dre says no. We got a couple other yeses. So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it is not, the media tells y'all, or the media, because the shit y'all are interested in, y'all watch it, but dudes don't care about none of that shit. Like, and a lot of times women try to force that conversation. Oh, I watch this and I watch it. It's like, okay, cool. But what else? Like, and usually it's just not a lot of interesting things. A lot of times they don't have hobbies, right? So it is what it is. Now, you will come across every now and then uh, particular women who are very interested. They do have hobbies. There's generally a common denominator across the ones that you do that are actively and actually have interests that are actually not run of the mill. What do y'all call them? Basic bitches, right? A basic bitch has no purpose. She doesn't really do anything, right? She's just kind of fetch. Patricia, you ain't going nowhere, girl. Sit your ass down. You in the den now. Anyway, um, but yeah, uh, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times men will, and I said I've told y'all this that this is manipulation. This is not a genuine way to be. But a lot of times men will deal with a woman's personality or lack thereof because they want something. They want one thing, and instead of being upfront and say, "Hey, look, I really am not interested in the shit you talking about or what you into. I find you attractive. I'd like to fuck you. If you cool with that, cool. If she say yay, hey, we got a match. Hey, ding ding ding, Chuck, we got a love connection. Or if she say nay, move on. There's 300. There's what not well, probably about 4 billion other bitches on the planet. Like you're gonna hit one. So it's just hey 12. What's the motherfucking deal? And so it's just like, but motherfuckers be so scared of taking that ill, they don't know how to respond. Now, I say all this to say, you know, there are more women than men, right? But more women are having sex than men are. You believe it if you want to or not. If a woman wants to have sex, she can have sex immediately, right? 9 times out of some may have a 30-minute domino wait, but for the most part, if a bitch say, "Hey, baby, after 12, she calls you. She says, yeah, I'm in the bed thinking about you. And after midnight, you get the call. You know what it is, right? Um, it is what it is. Nigga hit a bitch with the what you doing at after midnight or some shit. You might not get a response back. A bitch can hit 10 niggas with that shit. I'm telling you, 9 of them are gonna respond, and that one, that nigga was on them drugs, so he slept through it, but he gonna respond in the morning just because, right? So, anywho, uh, when, when your favorite IG model goes to oh, when your favorite IG model goes to Dubai, just unfollow my boy. It's a shitty situation. Um, but that's what I mean. Like, think about it. Like, think about all these IG models, right? Think about all these. They have huge fucking followings. This proves my point. There's lots of them with huge fucking followings. What do they do to monetize it? Fucking OnlyFans. Like, they don't create shit. They don't try to, grow. They don't try to say, well, fuck it, I got a million. Let me try to act or let me try to showcase a skill or something. They think that they're just motherfuckers gonna keep looking at them walk around the fucking Airbnb pool all day. You know what I mean? Eventually niggas gonna move on to the younger, better looking, whatever. Then once they start hitting that wall, men are pigs and how dare look at they're disgusting because they want younger women. But you took advantage of it when you were a younger woman. Anyway, um, so all I'm saying is men don't have the abilities to be hoes, right? So I forgot who made the point. I think it was old buddy from Fresh and Fit said that shit. Like, uh, a man can't use his body in the way that a woman can to take advantage of any kind of situation. A 19-year-old bitch can be on a fucking billionaire's yacht, right? I was going to say a joke. Oh, remind me about the yacht joke. I probably shouldn't even say it then because the timing won't be right. Then it'll just be weird. But yeah, that was. Mm, that might have been one of my worst ones. Anyway, so a 19-year-old broad can end up on a billionaire's yacht, but she doesn't serve any purpose. She's not college educated. She probably ain't graduated from high school. Probably full of cocaine and I don't know what's the other drugs the kids are doing. Molly's and the cocaines and the perkies, right? So again, it's just like you can't compare that. Now a lot of women, this is what a lot of women do. And if you're being honest with yourself, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying, right? If we're being honest with ourselves. What a lot of women do is they'll look up at men and down at other women, right? So what I mean by that is, so they'll say, "Oh, look, the men they're all doing this," and they'll look at celebrities, they'll look at upper echelon type of guys, more attractive guys, and guys who have the ability to do so. But the majority of the guys they're talking about, that's not the majority of men. It's a small percentage. Maybe if we're talking very generous, learn to talk. If we're talking very generous, um, somewhere between 10 to 20%, if that much. That's the ones that are always looking at. Oh, see, look, they're doing this, they're doing it. Talking about millionaires and motherfuckers either in the hood who got it like that, or just the ones that everybody wants. So again, the men with options and people with options exercise them, right? Because they don't talk about women when women exercise them. Woman can be in a great, steady, good relationship, uh, and a man with a little bit more comes by and says, "Hey, baby, let me take you to Dubai." right? She's on the boat, she's on the yacht, she's doing whatever, right? Don't matter. And I'm not talking about these fake YouTube scenarios and all these fake motherfuckers. Oh, dude, oh, that's your car. Oh, do you put in the front? I hate that shit. That shit kills me. But anyway, um, but it's not the same, and it never will be. So when I say look up at men, when they talk about men, they talk about those men up there who are, again, in a smaller percentage, upper 20%, right, 1/5 of men. But when they talk about women and the things, they ignore over half, I feel. But nowadays, back in the day, I probably might say 20 to 30%. Now I say over half of these women now who model the whorish behaviors, or they won't pay attention to them at all, and they'll just solely focus it on themselves, right? Instead of saying, "Hey, we're having a conversation. People are behaving a certain way. This is what's happening." Women are fucking way more than men. I mean, look at the music now. Like, look at there's some things I can say y'all don't want to believe, and it's up to you. But we were all kids at some point in time, right? We were all youth at some point in time. Some of y'all not that long ago, and some of us a little while longer. But those of you who were youth, not that long ago, you knew how bad it was then, especially with the technology. You knew what was going on then, even though you may or may not have gotten into it. You knew how bad it was then. Now you amplify that with the technology. You amplify with the changing times. You amplify that with the Rona setbacks. You amplify that with everything that's going on in the mind state of people now, who are they're sicker than ever. Um, how wild motherfuckers are being. Okay, some of you more grown up. I know. I came up in the era of the Nokia, where you could change the faceplates on that bitch, and all you could play with Snake. The Nokia didn't get pictures and all that other shit. But I knew the shenanigans that Nokia got me into uh, in high school, right? I know the time when I was able to get on a phone that didn't have. So now without the internet, we didn't have Wi-Fi and all that bullshit shaking. Like now, you're telling me people have more access than ever, especially for women now. It's more acceptable to be, you know, out there. Again, look at all your favorite art. There used to be a balance, if you would call it about. There used to be some raunchy female art, but you'd always have a couple of good ones. And we're talking mainstream. I know y'all have mentioned a couple of independent, maybe I won't call them lower tier, but lesser known artists. Um, but the shit that's getting pushed is Suki, Sexy, Red, Ice, Spy, whores, pure whores. Even the R&B bitches are whores, right? Like, and we know R&B ain't R&B anymore, but the R&B bitches, like, it used to be about love and wanting a nigga. Now it's, bitches getting talk about getting about fucked by three, four, five niggas the same night and shit. Like, I don't know, right? It is what it is. And you say, well, Honcho, that's a double standard because if a guy told you he fucked four or five bitches in a night, you would say he's a big player. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Do you know how easy it is for a woman to get fucked by? Again, crackheads. People are paying crackheads for action, right? If the crackheads are doing it for free, I'm pretty sure somebody's entertaining that. Um, so it's easier. And you say, well, that's because men are dogs. That's why all they get. Well, yeah, duh, duh. The dog gonna hunt. That dog don't hunt. I'm gonna look. This dog gonna hunt. So I get it. I understand it. I comprehend it. I get the alternative views of it when you talk about men versus women, but you're wrong. So I haven't even been reading the chat. I'm pretty sure y'all disagreeing or whatever y'all may be, but you're wrong. So I'm gonna open up the lines. Give me just a second. I had the headphones in here and I took my there in the fucking living room. I'll go get the headphones. But so to answer the question, do men have a hoe face? The answer is no. I'm gonna open up the line, and if you disagree, feel free to call. If you agree, feel free to call. Um, but you gotta be able to prove me wrong. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear no double stat. I don't want not no double. I don't want to hear. But men do what women do. Men and women are not the same. Men and women can't do the same thing. Period. Right. I need justification as to how men have a whole face because the majority of men ain't fucking. Right. The majority of men ain't bagging a bunch of bras. Right. I I forgot what the count was. It was like I want to say they said the average man. It was somewhere between 3 and 5 partners, right, in a lifetime. Right. I don't know what the average woman is, but it's probably more than that. Because I refuse to believe that women are honest on a lot of these these surveys. Like, what woman's gonna really be honest? So how many partners? I've had 300. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. So it is what it is. But I know for a fact because women are sneakier by far, right? And it's not even that women are sneakier. Let's put that myth to bed. I'm bad. I'm dismantling myths tonight. Women are not sneakier. Women are not better at at hiding things than men. It's absolute. This is the absolute falsity, right? This is. I'm tired of women's intuition. That's a falsity, and that women are sneaky. And I've pushed that narrative myself. I'm taking it back. Women are not sneakier than men. Not at all. Women are not these conniving cat burglars that just have this manipulative mind to confuse the man out of his own abilities to determine what this woman is up to. Absolutely not. Niggas just don't be giving a fuck. Like, women set up a fucking investigative agency because the nigga was 2 minutes late, right? They'll set up a whole fucking Inspector Gadget situation with the dog and everything, penny and all, right? Because the nigga was 2 minutes late. Niggas don't be tripping on shit like that. So men are just naturally more lackadaisical because we're not overly pressed about every little thing, right? So we have personalities, we got hobbies, we do other stuff. So it's not that you're snooping. You just take advantage of the fact that women are more likely to take advantage of a man's trust. That's all it is. Because men are more trusting, men are more caring, and so that just goes to show that women are again. Well, I've proven that women are worse people than men because they will take a man's trust and use it against him. All right. Now that I've said all that, I'm gonna get ready to open up the line here in just a second. Apparently, a large Mexican has just entered the room. And he didn't bring tacos, but I'm sure he has a bag of fresh fruit with him. Let me see, make sure I ain't miss nobody. But there's nobody. Ty, what's the motherfucking deal? Blickety blickety. And yes, the great Charleston White. Shout out to Big L. 5 minutes in the day, 90 women are. You said 5% of the men are dating 90% of the women or something. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's that extreme, but it's men. This is the type of shit women do, right? And you see it actively. Like, men don't entertain women that they don't want to fuck with, right? Like, if a dude doesn't want to go on a date with a broad, he's not gonna go on a date. Oh, let me just get some food. I'm just trying to see what I can get out of this. But like, no, no. But you have women who will actively go on a quote unquote first date just for some fucking food. And I mean, we're talking about millions of women across America. And you think that, you know, it's not upsetting or altering the energy that people are approaching dating with. Men don't do shit like that. Women are manipulative. Women are the users. And so, again, they are the whores. Because men can't be whores. We don't have the physical ability. Excuse me. Straight men don't have the physical ability to be, whores. Right? Just doesn't work that way. It's impossible. Right? It's impossible. I know you're itching and ready to tell me how wrong I am about all this stuff. I know you are. So I'm going to give you that opportunity to prove me right in just 1 second. I'm going to go get the earphones. Once I get the earphones, uh, you know, yeah. No, but see, here's my thing. But and I agree with you, 335 to an extent. Like, it is easier. I don't even think you have to be attractive. I think you just have to be a walking and talking man. Like, all you have to do is look like you got a little bit of confidence in yourself. And anyway, but no, it's far easier because again, women are now allowed to show their real nature. And the real nature of women, the majority of women are overly promiscuous. There's a lot more sexy red in society than most women want to admit. That's why Pound Town is a hit. That's why all this stuff. It's not just the ghetto ratchet ass hood rats. It's the people who have the ability to be whores that celebrate this music. Right? So the thing is, again, even though a man can be much more attractive as women is all that ever, who still has to do the initiation? Who has to initiate the encounter? Even though the man is more attractive, it's going to be easier. It can basically be an unspoken. We're not saying that you have to, you really don't have to do any of it. But society's expectations that that man should still take this woman out there. He should treat her and do all this stuff for her. She should get paid and rewarded and treated for wanting the same thing that I want. What kind of fucking deal is that? Right? What kind of fucking deal is that? But anyway, let's see. But that's the thing though. And that's the deal. And that's the crazy part, right? Because men are expected to come out the pocket up front. Like they're supposed to be expected to pay on the first date, and you know, I'm supposed to exert and exude and do all of this stuff to impress you, right? But when we come to a relationship, the modern relationships, men want pussy, women want money, so men lead with the money. They want the women to keep the pussy under wrap. I'm not unwrapping this package for 90 days because Steve Harvey said if I think like a man, then I can do anything a man can, right? And then you wonder why, you know, it, when he does get the pussy after 9 days, he hits it and never calls you back, right? He knows you're playing a bullshit ass game, and he's like, well, I'm already invested, so fuck it, right? But it's not because he wants you anymore. It's just because he needs to recoup his investment. But no, you women want the same thing men want for the most part when it comes to the bedroom, right? Women are just as aroused, they get just as off the wall, they're in just as much of the wild shit that men are, but they fake it, right? They fake it. They wear this mask uh, for society. And I said it last night. I understand why. I absolutely understand why women have to behave the way that they do, right? Because men are thirsty. But why are men so thirsty? Because they're not getting their needs fulfilled, right? Because most men are not having as much sex as they would like to have. The women are because they can. The man still has to go out and make effort and put forth some type of energy, right? Woman ain't got to do shit. So again, the men are not getting their needs met because they can't. It's more difficult. It's too much work, right? Some of them. And here's the biggest difference, right? Here's the biggest difference. Ugly woman will still get fucked. An ugly man cannot say the same, right? You cannot say the same. This is completely factual, Ken. This is absolutely factual, and I will be expecting the call. We will discuss this. It's absolutely factual. I'm telling you, men cannot be whores. Men cannot have a whole phase. Because ask any man that has dealt with multiple women. That shit is a fucking job. That shit is. It's not. Being a host shouldn't be this much work, right? It can't be. Women deal with multiple men. It's not work. They just get given a bunch of shit, and they may throw a little bit. They may or may not. Who knows, right? But you said still get more than dudes that get them. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, think about it. The woman, the worst woman on the dating app, right? And I don't know who the worst woman on the dating app is, right? Let's just say, for argument's sake, she's a fully functional female human being. And let's just say she has some unpleasant features, right? She could be, well, what does Trill you say, unlucky looking in the face? She could be disproportionate in the body. We've seen we've seen the gorilla black looking bitches, and I'm not talking about black gorillas. I'm talking about gorilla black like the old rapper. The gorilla black looking bitches with multiple children, right? And they look like they've come from different lines of DNA. So they are getting fucked. Why? Because someone knows they will do things. Because men are so desperate, they're needing it so bad, they're willing to go to this. They will go to any supplier, any provider of these services because it's so badly in need, right? It's unfortunate. But women, they know they have options. So that's why they can pick and they can choose and they can play the games and they can do these things, right? That's why a woman, the thing a woman hates probably more than anything else, more than anything else, is a man who has options and he knows that he has options. A woman cannot stand that. They feel like a man should have to grovel and beg, and they do not like to see a man who is confident enough to be like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And is willing to dismiss them with the same effortlessness that they do, most men. They hate it. But again, uh, give me just a second because most men are thrown off because they were raised by single women. Give me right back just a second. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna get the headphones, and we will come back. Give me just a moment. I have my aux cord. The dilly dally, the dally that the dilly. Where did I possibly? It's nearby because I know I didn't move it far. Let me think. Give me just one moment to think where I put that cord. Terrible. All right, almost burned the house down, but that's okay. All over the world, deep in my soul. All right, all right, all right. So what's the motherfucking deal? We back. So again, men cannot be hoes. Men do not have a hoe phase. You either got it or you don't. It's either in you or it ain't. Excuse me. All right, give me a second. Let me get the line open. Pull that up. I'm gonna take some calls. I'll put the number on the screen in just a second. Oh, good grief. I know y'all want to prove me wrong. I know y'all probably, this motherfucking honcho, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I used to like that guy. Now he's in here talking and just rambling that nonsense shenaniganery. Who's listening to this nigger? Oh, let me set the, I guess it helps to actually put the mic on and shit, right? All right, okay. Okay. Lickety. 832-46. Okay. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's going on, Hunter? This is the boy, man, up here.
What's the motherfucking deal, Mr. Man Up? How do you feel about tonight's conversation?
Well, first, let me start off by saying, as you referenced Steve Harvey earlier, think like a man. Here's the problem I have with that. Men are so simple. We even tell the women what we think, what we like, what we want, and they still can't get it. So how can you think like a man if we are first simple-minded? Second, if we're telling you, how can you not get it? So yeah, so you can't think like a man. So anyway, I just want to say that, get that out the way. All right. So do men have hoe faces? My answer, I believe so. I believe yes. But let me explain. I don't think a man's hoe phase is as big as a woman's hoe phase. And you broke it all down. A man can have one, but it's nowhere near on the level of a woman. And let me explain. Like you said, a man have to put in work. The most handsomest man have to put in work to get it. But the most ugliest woman, all she got to do is just go into a club full of men and just say she want to get fucked, and here come a bunch of men ready to stick dick in her. So it's it's night and day. I mean, even Biggie said it back in the day. He big, fat, ugly, and nasty, and he still was getting a lot of women. Why? Because he had money. Do you think if he wasn't famous and didn't have that money, you think he'd be getting all those women? You think he would have got Lil Kim? You think he would have got what's his wife's name? Faith. You think he would have got Faith Evans? No.
Hell no.
Same thing with Jay-Z. You think that big fish lip motherfucker would have got Beyonce? Let's just be real and be honest. I mean, even Kevin Hart, he even came out and said that. Before he got the money, he could not get a woman. But after he got that money, here come all the women just throwing it at him. Just throwing it at him. Let's just be honest and be real. Women don't have to go through all these measures to get sex. They don't have to. All they got to do is just be a woman and just be willing to give it up. That's it. You don't even have to be pretty anymore. You can just be, like you said, the damn broke back, ugly, mountain-looking, gorilla-looking woman. And she still can get it. Men have to put in work to go get it. And sometimes still don't. I mean, look at the Bagel guy, Bagel King guy, whatever his name is. I forgot his name. But look at him.
The Bagel King?
Yeah, that dude, I forgot his name. He owned a few bagel shops. I forgot what it was. But anyway, he was kind of a shorter guy, and he still was struggling to get a woman. Multi-millionaire. And he was still struggling. But anyway, I know women are going to say men can because they're going to look at Future. They're going to look at Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
That's one guy, but look at all of those women that they had sex with. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Future have 15 baby mamas. Nick Cannon, one guy again, have same thing, about 10, 15 baby mamas. So that's one guy versus 10 women. Come on now. You tell me who's really, you know what I'm saying? And look at how successful these guys have to be to even try to get some. So I want to see a woman dispute that without talking about, well, these men are, no, these men ain't nothing. We ain't gonna have access to it if you don't give it to us. Plain and simple. I can't get it if you don't give it to me. Now, if I still get it, that's a whole nother conversation.
Feel me?
You know what I'm saying? A whole nother kind of conversation. But I can't get it unless you give it to me. So it really starts with the woman. So come on now, tell me I'm wrong and tell me how I'm wrong without your feelings or emotions being involved. Tell me how am I wrong. That's all I want to say.
Well, shout out to Mr. Man Up coming in, kicking the line down and making his point. So who is going to prove him wrong? We're going to see if anybody's going to step up to the challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to be on here listening to it for at least another 20 minutes before I go lay it down. So I'm waiting to see within that 20 minutes or so if anybody's going to say anything.
Okay. We're going to see. We're going to find out. But Mr. Man
All
Up,
right,
I
then
appreciate you calling in. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man.
Too bad. That is Mr. Man Up, man. Hold on 1 second. We got the calls coming. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
You are trying to get my blood pressure up. Men absolutely can be hoes, and they are. You mean because a hoe is just someone that's promiscuous and has several sex partners. And when I talk about men, I'm not just talking about the futures of the world. I'm talking about the commoners. You mean regular men, you mean will still have a bunch of women, whether they have to pay for it or not.
But if they're paying for it, then aren't they the John and not the hoe?
No. Depends on how much he's paying. If he's paying a whole lot, then she can be like a hoe. But if he's just giving a little bit, because some women just want a little bit.
But why can't it just be fair? Why, if both parties want the same thing ultimately, why can't men and women come to the table and say, hey, you want sex, I want sex, we are attracted to one another, why can't we just have sex without me having to compensate you in some form or fashion?
Because chivalry is still alive and well. When I was coming up, men, even if you didn't sleep with them, they took it upon themselves to just help out, especially if a woman had kids. And I named some of those guys. They were wonderful. They would do those things. But men also, even if they have a woman that they love, a wife that they love, they will still go out there and cheat and screw other women because they're greedy. I heard it even on here, and I've heard other men say it. That they'll sit and have sex with a woman that they don't even like. That's crazy to me. You don't like her, but you can stick your dick in her, and you can sit up there and sacrifice your life and hurt your girlfriend or your woman? And then you have to put yourself through all that stress just for somebody you don't even like. You don't hardly ever hear of a woman saying that she'll have sex with a man she doesn't like unless he's a John. And even then, she may not do it.
But does that make it worse?
It doesn't matter. It still happens. Guys get out there and they will sleep because they're greedy. It doesn't matter. Even if they have a woman that they love, they will still. They're greedy.
Well, what is it when
They'll
a
get
woman
up there and
steps out?
they'll screw anybody or anything. And they rarely ever want to leave their wives and the women that they have. They put themselves through all that stress just for some coochie. You don't hear about women doing it that way.
But see,
What you
that's the
say?
thing, because it's easier for women. So that's why they don't go through the stress. Because for a woman, she doesn't have to go out and then if she's gonna go cheat, the dude's gonna be like, all right, well, I just want to fuck you anyway, send you back home to your man. I don't want all the extra stuff. But here's the thing. When a woman cheats and when women cheat, it's far worse than when a man cheats. Because when a woman cheats, she just might as well end a relationship. Because what she's done is women don't, like you said, they won't go out all willy-nilly. So the man that they're confiding in or that they're willing to give themselves up to, even though they're with somebody, has not only a piece of her body, but now she's probably giving him a piece of her heart. And so that's a significantly different thing than me just being physically attracted to a woman. I just look, I'm just trying to get me done. I really don't give a fuck
But
about you.
but exactly. You're exactly right as far as that goes. We women have options and we have opportunities just like the men do, but we don't take advantage of them. We don't jump on that because we won't
Mm.
sit up there and just give ourselves away so easily. Where men will give themselves away easily. And let me tell you what else men do. You mean when they go out and they cheat on their women,
Mm.
they embarrass the family. They embarrass their women. There is so many women that their men have cheated on them over and over again, and you hardly ever hear them. They won't come on here and talk about it. You mean they don't want to? It's an embarrassment because they were so good and they loved this man so much, and he still got out there and do it. That is crazy to me. For men to get out there and cheat, they have the just because they have the opportunities, that they got to take advantage of it, and they do.
I
You know,
still
when I
believe
was
women are
coming up,
far
there was a
worse.
song. There was a song Betty Wright sang. Girls
Mm-hmm.
can't do what the guys do and still
Mm-hmm.
be a lady. We can't do what the guys do. We have options and opportunities just like they do, but we don't take advantage of them because we're still ladies. And a good woman is still going to be a lady. If your man's out there running around cheating and being a hoe or a slut, you don't go and get, and a lot of us women don't go and get revenge with our private parts. That's sacred.
I'm
I
going
mean,
to
guys
disagree with
don't
that.
hold anything sacred. Yeah,
I'm
and
going
there's
to
another
disagree with
thing.
that.
There's a song by the Impressions when I was coming up. If it's
Mm-hmm.
in you to do wrong, keep it away from home. If it's in you to do wrong, keep it away from home. Don't hurt me so close. Don't embarrass me. That's serious business. I don't understand. Would some guy ball up his fist and punch his kid in the face, an innocent child? No, because you love your child. Then why would you sit up there and punch your woman or stab her in the heart by doing that same thing? And it's one thing
Mm.
if they do it once. If guys cheat one time, that might be a little bit more acceptable. But when they've done it multiple times, you mean the first time you did it and you put yourself through that stress, you know what I mean, and all that pain and your Rolodex of lies that you have to get ready. And like we were talking about in the Discord last night, it's not if she will find out, it's when she will find out, because we do have that woman's intuition. And if something doesn't feel right and it's off, we're going to investigate. You mean after you did it the first time and you went through all of that and you said, oh my God, if she finds out, I'm going to cause her so much pain, embarrass her, this, that, and another. But then you go and do it again and again and again. I don't understand that.
But it's the woman's fault. If
No,
he
it's
does
not
it
the
again,
woman.
if he does it again, it's definitely her fault.
Okay, yeah, no, because she tried to be a good woman and tried to give him a chance and say, okay, he made a mistake one time. You mean,
When
and then if a
after
woman leaves when a man does it one time, when a woman leaves when a man does it one time, they say, oh, you didn't even get a chance, he made a mistake. One time, no, you don't want your man to cheat on you at all.
but see, here's the thing
But
though.
if he does it once and you hold on, you're just trying to help. But after that, let him go.
but see, here's the
But
thing. If
I
he
won't
does
say
it
that
one
to
time,
anybody.
but if he does it
If he
one
does,
time, you gotta change your ways. He's letting you know it's something else that he likes. So the woman needs to adapt and adjust, and maybe change up what she's doing in the bedroom, and he won't deviate so much.
possibly. You mean, but who told him he was so wonderful in the bed? She ain't out there cheating. I don't know why you guys think that you're so wonderful in the bed.
Why don't you think women cheat? Women cheat more than
Yeah,
men do.
yeah.
They just don't talk about it.
Women do cheat, but not as much as men do. Men are
Women cheat
greedy and they
significantly
go
more.
and cheat a lot. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to look any further than people in the den. Ask them down there to put down there which one of their parents cheated. You mean,
Mm.
or have they ever cheated?
But here's the thing: you wouldn't know if your mom snuck out and did. She would never. There's again. Here's the thing: there. What is it? The maybe babies. right? They were talking about men and DNA tests, and they're saying up to 30 to 35% of those DNA tests are babies that aren't those men. So obviously the man didn't suspect that she stepped out. He's been with this woman and married this woman thinking they have a good, happy family. And not only has she stepped out, uh, she's allowed another man to procreate with her. So she was doing God knows what. And this has happened all the time. You hear it all the time. So my thing is that those are the ones that are getting pregnant that you hear about. So it's a lot more that are doing it that may be taking better precautions. That may be taking
Right. You said what?
women do it
35%?
sneakily. I think it's more than that. I think up to however many, whatever percentage of men you think are cheaters, I agree that it's a equal percentage of women because women do the same shit men do. They
Yeah, I
just
don't think it's equal.
it
But
just gets pushed to it.
if it's
Okay, I'm sorry.
35 for her, if it's 35 for women, you mean then I believe it's much higher. You mean for men? You mean and men get out there and they make babies? Yeah, women would get out there and cheat and have babies. I've heard. You know what I mean? And some of them have. But guys also get out there and they make babies also.
But the thing is, most guys aren't even going to check because most, again, like I was saying earlier, the reason why, and I say I don't believe in women's intuition, it's just women getting bored and looking for something to find or a pattern change that they recognize. Because to me, if intuition was a real thing, then the situation with that man would have never occurred in the first place because you would have seen it prior to. You'd be like, this is definitely not a guy to fuck with. Instead of getting caught up in the situation, then a bad situation happened, then you discover that. But my thing is that women are not going to. Again, women are sneaky. They're not going to say so. A lot of women don't even have friends, so they're not going to admit to a lot of shit. But again, it's the ones that are having the babies. That's one group. Then there's another group that is cheating, and nobody's going to know. But like I said, it's far more women because there's more women as a whole in this country, and more women are having sex than men. More women are going to have access to a regular partner than men. So more women are going to have access to a regular partner that they can cheat on. Because the I won't say the majority of men aren't having sex, but like they say, we look at black men. It's what 50% of black men are single and childless, or never been married and childless. So they might be having sex. It ain't just every nigga who's doing a whole bunch of fucking is uh, using the utmost protection. So at some point, generally those type of guys slip up and have a kid. Um, but you see an overwhelming majority of women who do have children. They're out there fucking somebody. And again, like I said, it's that small percentage of men. So it's a small percentage of men who have the ability and the access to get a woman and to cheat on that woman. Um, Women,
I
I mean,
think
like I
it's a
say,
lot of men.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of
Yeah,
everybody.
it's a lot of men that will get out there and cheat. You mean and then when they slow down on their cheating, most of the time it's when they've gotten older and they've sown their oats. And that's why everybody says, well, he's got to sow his oats. He's got to sow his oats. You know what I mean? After a while. You know, but most men do cheat, and I'm going to stand by that until I see something differently. You know, and
Mm,
I'm not talking about, like I said, the futures and the rich guy, just all around.
mm. I
You
don't
mean
think enough guys get to
that's
have
what
sex
men
to
do.
get to cheat.
And so we as women we come to almost expect it that they're gonna cheat at least one time. We come to expect it. Well, me anyway. In the way I came up, that's just what men do. And people say that's what men do. Men will be boys. You mean women are too busy at home running the households and take care of the children. They don't have as much time and opportunity to get out there and cheat like men do because the guys were outside the house a lot more. You know, the women were in the house. You know, it's bad. I mean, it's terrible if they ever have a guy come over to their house, but that's like the ultimate disrespect. And I hear about that more like in the military and things like that.
Mm.
You know,
Well, you think that's the thing.
that's just nasty.
There's two industries where that's real big: the military, well, I guess you call it industry, and in construction. Like, when they say
Really?
where there's smoke, there's fire. This is the thing. It's so bad. Women are so terrible. This is how bad they are. That I had a friend. He took a class to be an operator in a chemical plant, and he said part of the curriculum they talk about that if you take on this job, it's more than likely that you're going to get divorced, right? Because it's over a 50%. I mean, of course, across the nation is over 50, but it's like because of the long hours, the time away from home and stuff like that. I've
Right.
known several people who get with a chick young, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They go get a good job. They take care of their family. She's getting everything she wants, but he's not there enough to satisfy her. Other than the motherfucker works 12 hours a day, working 7 12s, or something. So he's taking care of all the other needs, everything you want, but because he can't be there physically, because the time that he is, he's taking care of the household. So as you deviate, you go fuck with somebody else. Now you're giving your heart to somebody else while this man's paying your bills. Now you don't no longer, because women are fickle. Now you don't love him because he didn't spend the time. You left with a new dude. You took half the shit. You took the kids and all of this stuff. When men cheat, that don't happen. Men just, I just need a little new strange. Let me go, do something and get on about their way. Now I feel good and hey, back to my happy home. Women invest more into cheating, and that's why when women cheat, it's way worse. They may not invest the resources, but the emotional um, input that they put into it
Right, and
is way more significant.
that's why they're more careful with it, because it's not something they don't go and invest that much of themselves to a bunch of different people or just anybody.
But
You
that's the
mean
thing.
like
But when
guys
they
will
do,
sit there and like,
it's a
yeah,
bigger
when they
investment.
do, yes, when they finally do,
But they do it a lot. And I'm
then
gonna say
yeah,
this. I'm gonna say this because I have been a side man. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a side man out there somewhere know about me. I'm pretty sure we've all been on one side of
no,
something or other. Hey, I don't count anything out like that.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
way I operate. Hey,
right,
there's always somebody more player. Um, so my thing is, as being the side man, I know how women operate. Being a side
okay,
man, a woman with your friend, say if I was a side man to your friend or whoever, she's going to tell me the things she will never tell you.
right,
Like the side man knows everything. He knows the boyfriend or man's work schedule. He know that nigga birthday. He know that
I'll
nigga mama
bet,
name. He know the family. She's everything. She's going to rant, and I'm telling you, and it's like that's an investment that you would put into a relationship. That's an investment, like that type of information. And so that's why you hear all these stories about the side nigga robbing a nigga or doing some all kind of off the wall shit or the new boyfriend, because she will do that. That's what a woman will do. You know what I'm saying? It is saying like, so I know how foul a woman can be. A
yes,
man is
that's
not finna do it.
sleazy. I agree, that's sleazy.
But it's more often than not when a woman cheats, that's how she behaves. But when a dude is fucking with, he's not telling. He's going, yeah. She's gonna be doing all the talking or whatever. He's not gonna tell him, well, yeah, my wife, this. He's not gonna do all. She may treat him good and make him feel like, but he's not gonna sit here and pour his soul out to her about his family that he loves and cares about. Now she may get investigatory and she may find some things out and do her own research, but he's not going to invest that kind of energy. He's like, I'm just fucking with you because I relax a little bit. I can knock you down and I can go back on my way. You're gonna let me do the things I like and without the stress, without the whatever. It's not an emotional investment. You know what I mean? And
And
so
by
that's
nature,
the
guys don't
difference.
talk as much as women do.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't. You know what I mean? So they're not going to be, unless he's like a little gossiping bitch or something like that. You know what I mean? But by nature, guys don't talk as much, you know what I mean, as women do. But, you know what I mean? And that's sleazy. Women that do that, that's sleazy.
A lot of
You know
sleazy
what I mean?
women out there.
You don't go, you protect your home even when you're outside the home. You make sure your home is protected even if you're not there.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And any woman that does it and puts all the business and makes their family and their children and their man vulnerable like that something bad could happen, then she's just a no good woman. She's just a no good woman.
You
And I
would be
frown upon that.
surprised. You
Yeah,
the
no,
great
from what you just told me, wait a minute, where's my pros at so I can clutch my pros? Where they at? Where they at? What?
Oh, man, I could tell y'all some things that ain't they ain't YouTube appropriate. We could discuss in the Discord, but yeah, I
Yeah, in
mean
the Discord. In the
it's
Discord, yeah.
definitely it's a wild world, and that's what I'm saying. That's part of that. One day coming to the realization, and that's kind of something that changed my outlook on. Like, wait, and you would see this would be someone you would think, hey, this is a good, wholesome. It's women are very good at being chameleons. Some much better than others. Some of them let their nature show out, the sexy reds of the world. But there are some women who walk by you every day, the most conservatively dressed, proper, articulated speaking. It's the most you would think would never happy family woman. It will do some of the wildest stuff, and you will learn some of the
Yeah.
wildest
She's a
things.
sleaze
So I'm
bucket.
just saying,
She's a sleaze
it's
bucket.
Yeah, that's what I say.
But
I'm not
now I
putting nothing past
understand what
anybody.
you're saying. But and see, those are your experiences, your personal experiences,
Yes,
and mine are mine. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I just don't. Yeah, I wouldn't hang up. Well, no, I won't. Let me stop lying. I have been around and gone out. You mean with some girls that were kind of sleazy and things like that? There, you mean, and it was uncomfortable to me. But not a whole lot of them. Like one of my friends from Kansas City, Missouri, that lived here. Yeah, we're out in Boston and everything. We come back, her boyfriend's babysitting her kid. You know what I mean? And we come the next morning and pull up in front, and she said, "Okay, Kathy said hi. Don't put my name in it. I didn't say
Hmm.
hi because
Hmm.
I was embarrassed because I know what you were doing, and I don't
Hmm.
even want to say hello to him." But that was her. But she was a wild one. But he knew she was a wild one. She was a big girl. You know what I mean? Very adorable. You know what I mean? And my cousin met her and said that she's juicy. Like I said, they like the juice. I got the biggest kick out of it. You know what I mean? I'd be sitting at the end of the bar eating my chicken wings. But yeah, she was out back there. She was doing all kinds of things. I mean, she was fun to hang out with and things like that. But yeah, she did some nasty things. And I mean, your man's at home babysitting your kid, and you're out doing this. That was sleazy to me.
Not from my
But
women.
that was only one time that where he was babysitting, and after that she wasn't with that guy anymore. Yeah, that was very uncomfortable. And I told you my other best friend. My friends are from girls that I've been friends with since we were little girls. The other one that her husband's in the military, when she comes over here, like they usually drive up here around Easter time, she just talks so badly to him, and I had to tell her, don't berate your man in front of me, especially in my house,
Hmm.
because I'm embarrassed for him. He's a big guy, he's a nice guy, but he's a big wimp. I wouldn't want a guy like that. I like someone a bit more rugged and things, and I don't want anybody that I can disrespect. That's when I know I have to leave a man. If I don't feel like I need to respect you anymore and I can say anything to you or treat you any kind of way, I need to back up. I don't want to be with anybody that I can disrespect,
Yeah. And
you know?
it's unfortunate too because a lot of times you have I've been that way. You try to be pleasant and polite because this is supposed to be your woman or whatever. And you're like, I don't want to be. I always find it weird. Like to me, like dudes who beat on their chicks, like you beating up the chick you're supposed to be presenting that you're supposed to lay with, be with, but vice versa. You have women, they will talk fucking crazy. And I
Right?
think sometimes women forget, like, who the fuck you're talking to. And I sometimes I
Right.
think women don't realize like how much restraint a man is actually showing because a lot of them don't have the capability to do it. And so they don't understand what's actually going on. But it's like sometimes I'm just like, bitch, I put you through a fucking wall if I wanted
Right.
to. It wouldn't be, but but it's like I'm not going to because of this, and this. But sometimes I think women forget that type of shit. But anyway, oh yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to let somebody else. I said, let me call in because I'm looking in the chat and I'm like, okay, which woman's going to call in besides Belle and me?
Mm,
Well, only
yeah,
Massachusetts women? Yeah, Deetha also will call in sometimes, but some of these other women need to call in.
yeah. I've been seeing a couple of folks lurking. Not a lot of comments in the chat of particular women folk
Yeah.
that ain't heard from. But we ain't gonna name no names. We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see. Well, thank you for calling in, Miss Grace, and I
Okay,
appreciate
thank you
chatting
for
with you
taking
as
my
always.
call.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good evening. Good conversation. Um, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
You know what? You are full of it. You're full of it. Look,
Excuse
at
me.
this point, I'm convinced you're trolling. You're trolling at this point.
What do you mean? Well,
And
first and foremost, good evening, Mr. Ken. How are you doing this evening?
good evening, my brother. I'm outside. It's raining outside. I'm waiting for my food to get ready and listening to you in the car. Uh, waiting for these people to finish cooking my food.
What kind of food you getting there?
Some Hispanic food. If you ever notice, I eat a lot of Hispanic food.
Oh, I do as well. So I can't fault you for that. It's some of my
That food
favorite.
be banging.
Yeah,
Right? That food be banging, I'm telling you.
absolutely.
How you doing tonight? How was your day and whatnot?
Just a day. Not too many highs, not too many lows. You know, I'm glad to be here in the den with the den folk, uh, having this very interesting conversation that we're having this evening.
Bit more no interested, nigga. You trolling. You
What?
trolling. And I'm convinced. I think
What?
more of
What?
you.
So why do you
I
feel that?
think
Why do you feel
more
like I'm trolling?
because you're trolling. I mean, there's nothing that you can tell me to convince me that you're not trolling. And you know what? It is what it is. Because I know what you're doing. You know, and you can't fool me. You can't fool me, Bob. You know, uh, uh, per usual, I would like to have a rebuttal to a couple things. I believe it was Dan the Man. Was that him that called?
Earlier, no, that was man up.
Oh, man up. What up, man up? I don't think I've ever heard him in Discord. But I appreciate him for saying that men have a whole phase and not rolling with your trolling antics. You know, I appreciate him for, speaking the truth. But he mentioned something about how a man would tell a woman what he wants and she still won't do it. But again, a woman would tell a man what she wants and he still won't do it. I've been saying this for quite some time. Both men, I'm speaking on black folks because it seems like black people are typically the ones that's having these foolish conversations. I really don't see no other races of men talking about this stuff like this. Seems like black folks just can't get it together. Niggas been together for centuries and still haven't figured out how to live with each other in peace in a relationship. Y'all been having much practice and you still can't get it right. But both men and women don't get each other. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like that one-sidedness about a man will tell a woman or the woman. Well, a woman do the same thing, and niggas still won't give her what she wants. Now, on both sides, if a woman would tell a man what she wants and he gives her that, there are some women who will still complain and want more. And it's the same thing with the man. You know what I'm saying? A woman will be giving him what he wants, clipping his toenails, doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He'll still, there's still more. So on both sides, to me, I see the same thing on both sides. So yeah, a hoe is a hoe. A hoe is a hoe. No matter the race, a hoe is a hoe. And if you look deeper within that, yes, men have a whole phase. Men and women have a whole phase. I mean, that's just simple, not rocket science. A whole phase is someone who's exploring multiple sexual partners. In a phase is something that happens at a particular time. Yes, both have whole phases. And from my perspective and from data, men whole phases last longer. It could go for decades. We're not talking about 18 to 25. No, it could last for decades. And I
So
know
would that
people.
make it a phase or a way of life?
It's a phase because at some point it slowed down. And I'm gonna give you the data to prove me right. But to take a deeper look at the whole being a whole, men don't, because of the conditioning that your father, your cousins, your uncles, and your friends, and music, and so forth and so on from generations and generations. It's been said that the more sex that men can have, the popular he is. he's cool, it validates him, but it's not looked at as like, yo, like you're literally giving yourself away to people, literally giving parts of yourself away, your sperm that helps create life. You're just giving it away to anybody with a pulse. Women who giving their cootie cat away to anybody with a pulse. That's low self-worth. You're basically a product in Dollar Tree. That's your worth. You $1, nigga. Because anybody could buy you. Anybody could pick you up and use you and put you down. You Dollar Tree, nigga. That's all. You Dollar Tree.
Not Dollar Tree. Man,
You Dollar Tree, nigga.
Okay.
You're not even Family Dollar.
I got 2 points I want to address that you said. So you said one about men needing to, listen to women as well, right? And hear what women want. Do you think women really know what they want?
Some do and some don't. Again, we talk about, globally, and when I get to the stats, like because area matters, states matter, counties matter. So you can't just be like, do women know what they want, and men what they want, because it varies from the, like we said, the equation. Some people's equations might be different. And yes, I believe that many women don't know what they want. Many of them can't even choose their meal for dinner, what they want to eat. So yeah, there are many women who don't know what they want, and there are many men who don't know what they want as well. Yes, some men or many men are simple. They want it simple and X, Y, and Z. But then there are other men who are conditioned or live their life that simple is boring to them. It's boring. Whereas women, simple for them could be boring and they want more. So it varies. It's not like a one size fits all.
Okay. And then so you said about the hoe phase and men having hoe phases. Me personally, you said that it can go on for decades. I would assume that when it dwindles off, it's generally to the point where a physical disorder has stepped in. Because if a man generally is very active with women, he's going to stay very active with women. If a man generally tends not to have very much success with women, then throughout his life, he's probably not going to have very much success with women. To me, it's different with a whole phase because, again, a woman can do nothing and receive everything. It does not work that way for a man sexually. A man has to put forth effort. The hoe is not putting forth effort. She's getting paid to do something basically anybody can do. That's prostitution, not even just a direct form of prostitution. Oh, you're prostituting yourself for this company, you're doing something anybody can do, but you're putting yourself in a demeaning position, or however you want to look at it. A man
But a
does
hoe
not have that
ain't
ability.
necessarily big.
Hmm?
A hoe is not. You're mixing, you're intertwining.
Okay, well then she's a slut then.
Hoes,
A hoe should get paid. A slut is getting fucked.
no.
Yeah.
Someone who's a trick, they get paid for sex. A hoe is literally just someone who's had sex with a bunch of people.
Okay,
It doesn't involve money.
our vernacular,
You're
our slang is different because the trick is the John, as far as I grew up knowing it, not the hoe. That's why I say our southern slang may be different sided because I know some people who call the pussy the cock, but I don't call it that. I don't think it is. So I think that we see it different. So when I hear trick, I'm thinking of the John, the man who's spending the money, not the hoe.
So my whole life, when people call somebody a hoe, I mean, people would call classmates a hoe in high school. Ain't nobody buying them. Ain't nobody spending money on them. They just having sex with a bunch of people. I've never, ever heard in life that people call people who get paid for sex a hoe.
You ever heard a Mexican call another Mexican a nigga?
Yeah. What that got to do with anything?
Do you think Mexicans are niggas? in the same context that we use the word nigga?
No.
Okay, and then we would apply it the same way with hoe. It's just being used out of context.
I mean, you want to look up the definition?
Yeah, we look up
Because
the
I'm
definition.
quite sure the definition would go with what I'm saying. No?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Okay, so I'm looking it up, and it says that you're right. So it says whore is taken from whore, and it means you're being paid for services. So you are right. But I've never in my life put that together like that. So I stand corrected. You're right. Thank you for teaching me something today, Honcho. I'll give you that.
Like I say, I just feel like it's just different aspects of Southern vernacular or different vernacular. So I mean, you may have, like say, you grow up hearing it one way. I may have grown up hearing it differently, and this could be a regional thing. So it's not that I don't feel it's a right or wrong. Like I say, it's just about us having the same understanding of the words we're using, so there's no confusion.
No, but I'm just telling you that I stand corrected.
Okay.
With the actual factuals about it, because it says that being paid for services, whereas I just thought that it meant you just sleeping around with a bunch of people. So now I stand corrected and know factually what it means. So thank you for that. Now I can go on in life saying it in the right way.
Oh,
but you did say about how men would slow down when something happens to them, health-wise.
Yes.
Now, the stat says a lot. Now, the stat will shut you down everything you're saying besides the definition of health. Everything you're saying, according to data, is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. So data says that, okay, so data says that, again, depending on areas, sexual partners will be higher and lower. So example, it says whereas Louisiana, the average sexual partners for both men and women are 15.7 partners. I don't know how that point, I'm guessing it's like adding everything up, but basically 15, 16 people, Louisiana. Whereas you go to Utah, it says the average is 2.6, so basically 3. Because Utah is more of a conservative, it's 62% of the residents are members of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, because the whites do it right. That's why.
No, it's not the whites do it right. It's just that, instead of them being a whore with everybody else, it's probably the priest or the fathers having sex with the kids. You know how they do.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but that's it goes down. But they promote they promote abstinence until marriage. That's what they promote. Whereas you go to Louisiana, it's a free for all. So it depends on where you are. You can't just go across the board about who is what and what is what. And your whole men average is 3 to 4 people. That's a 3 to 4 lie.
What is the male average? What is the national male average of sexual partners?
Okay, so I'm just gonna hit this while I'm at this page. It says that 41.3% of men and 32.6% of women admitted to lying about their sexual history. So men lie more than women with sexual history.
Okay, but what do you think they're lying about?
They're lying about how many partners they had.
Do you think men are lying about having more, or do you think that men are lying about having more or less partners?
So it gets into that.
Okay.
It says that 51.8 of women and 10.8 of men admitted to both increasing and decreasing partners, but it does say that more men lie more about increased partners than women. So it also says that 30% of people said that they were somewhat likely to end a relationship if their partner had too many sex partners. It says that women are more flexible than men. So women, they'll date a man that got 50, 11 partners, but men won't.
Because that man did something right to get them 50, 11 women. That's the master key man.
Yeah, whatever. But it says that men prefer partners with 14 partners or less. We're talking about lifetime. This is the lifetime sexual partner. So it says 14 or less. It also says that okay. So it says that women between the ages of 25 and 49, and these stats were taken between 2015 and 2019. It says that women between the ages of 25 and 49, 17% of them were more likely to have one sexual partner. 29% of, huh?
I'm sorry. Can you give me the years on these stats again? I'm sorry.
Between 2015 and 2019.
Okay.
And then 29.2% of women between the ages of 25 and 49, they had 2 to 4 partners. 5 to 9 partners, 28%. 10 to 14 partners, 11.6%. 15 and more partners, 12.9%. Then you get to the men, 25 to 49, same time, one partner, 11%. So less men have one partner than women. 2 to 4 partners, 22.3% of men had 2 to 4 partners. And again, 29.2 women had 2 to 4 partners. So again, men have less. They're going up while women are going down. Then you get to 5 to 9 partners. Here's the kicker. Same thing. 25.8% of men. 10 to 14 partners. Now here's the thing. Men have 12.5% of men have 10 to 14 partners. 15 or more, 28.3% of men have 15 or more partners. So it says on average, on median, 2015 to 2019, women have 4.3 partners on average of all that age, and men had 6.3. So it still says that men have more sexual partners than women. So it goes into the marriage too. 20% of married men cheat, then 13% of women married cheat. And it goes into different reasons on why they cheat and so forth and so on. Infidelity increases. So to get on your point about how when they get old, well, when something happens to them, they slow down. So it says that between the ages of 18 and 29, more women are guilty of infidelity than men in that age range.
They got
because
options.
Right, they got options. Then it gets to age 30 to 39 years old. Infidelity in men increases with 14%. And right, because hopefully they're coming into their career and things like that, and they're coming into themselves. Then it says 11% of women admitted to having an affair between 30 and 39. Men in their 60s report to having a higher rate of infidelity, at 24%. So men in their 60s have more infidelity than men in their 30s and men in their 20s.
Man, that old coochie done dried up. They got to do something.
nigga.
Look,
And it still increases. It increases even when there's 70 and 79. It says
Look,
26%.
Betty Lynn ain't tooting that thing up the same ever since she had that hip replacement. You know what I'm saying? So look, you gotta go
Nigga,
get it. You gotta
but
go get it somewhere.
that blocks out your argument because by that age, men are statistically more likely to have health complications because one, men don't go to the doctor that much. So by that age, they're more than likely to have some health complications, but it still increases with them cheating. You
Oh,
feel
because they
me?
got
So,
it's the Viagra and the Cialis.
nigga, basically you're wrong. I mean, you're wrong, and that's what that is. And I'll end with, especially in the black community, cheating amongst sexes. A lot of cheating comes from depression. If you don't know, depression causes I call it sexual deviance, but it causes them to um, try to think they're getting rid of that depression by having sex. Hence, you see a lot of babies, most of them are born out of depressed parents. And it also says that people in happy relationships even cheat on both sexes. But it also says because of in this new modern era, casual sex is accepted now. So you see more cheating now than you did back in the day because it was frowned upon. But I also like to say that when I hear these conversations with niggas talking about, well, women, they get to do X, Y, and Z. Men have to do all the work. You have to pay. And an ugly man can't get a woman, but an ugly woman could get a man. And all this, and men gotta pay.
This is true.
It really, but it sounds like that niggas are jealous of women's benefits. That's what it sounds like.
It's not that. It's men are upset because we're getting a declining value price. It's like when you get the car, and as soon as you pull the car off the lot, it starts to lose value. That's what's happening. Men as a whole are getting a product that is declining in value, yet we're being expected to pay more for it. That's like, the motherfuckers with the new damn iPhone. It's the same damn phone with one change features. These the same damn bitches with some new baby hairs. They ain't worth a fuck. And so niggas don't want to fucking deal with their nonsense. But they're come on, Ken. I mean, we can agree that. Okay, let me not say we can agree. I'm gonna ask your opinion. Would you say that women now are better behaved than their predecessors?
No. But I also agree that I don't believe that they're better, but I also believe that men aren't better either. Neither. Neither are better.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, but there are still expectations placed upon the men while there are not expectations placed upon the woman. That's cool and that's fair. That's fine. Yes, yeah. A woman is so you can't Oh, nobody. No, you can't police black women. You telling black get out of black women's spaces. You can't tell a black woman nothing. But
that don't mean the expectations aren't there though. You still have the expectations.
The expectations are out the window. Niggas is selling for what they can get. And I'm gonna show the clip I showed the other day. But my thing is this: that you're getting a decline. You basically the modern day broad. Come on, man. You getting a homeboy. Come on, these bitches look like niggas. They tatted up and they getting grilled. And they doing the same shit niggas do, right? So it's like you're not getting a feminine.
You're talking about a specific woman in a specific area. Again, if you go to Louisiana, you're going to get those tatted women. You're going to get a lot of spots in Louisiana with talented, manly women. Like I said, if you go to a more Utah, Wisconsin, you might get a different black woman. If you go upstate New York,
where's the damn black women in Utah and Wisconsin?
Nigga, I've come across so many.
It's like three in both states combined.
Look, I've come across so many women, black women, who are not the sexy reds of the world, in my lifetime, and I'll just start from as of 5 years until now. I've come across many because I've traveled, throughout, not throughout, but I've traveled in many states, and I've seen different types of black women, and I've seen where you'll typically find the ghetto, the manly, the disrespectful. I've seen pockets of where they're at in different states of North Carolina. It may be less or maybe more, depending on the state, depending on the county, depending on the socioeconomic class. So I mean, that's why I can't just say that you ain't gonna find, because you can. They're out there. The same way there are good men, black men out there that are ready to fulfill their role as a man, but you gotta find them. Because if I go by your logic that it ain't no more good women, nigga, it's a lot of feminine men out here that's ready to kill somebody because they looked at them wrong,
And I
or they
agree
tatted
with you.
up, or they ain't building houses. When the last time you seen a nigga build a house?
Yes,
When? Or have a farm or work in his garden. When is the last time you seen that? The traditional black man. It's few in the modern type of man.
You know I live in Texas, right?
Yes,
So it's out here. They out. It's everywhere.
they out there, but
But
it's
the thing
few
is, the
compared
women
to
don't want the hard working countryman. I want my 50-50 partner, my life partner who gonna match my energy. We're gonna take trips. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna do all this stuff that looks good for my Instagram because I want to show off for other bitches. I just want this nigga to fund my dreams. That's my booski, all that bullshit. They don't want to get the man that's gonna get out there on their farm and work and bust his ass. You don't want these city bitches because they got the city bitches attitude. Huh?
But you talk about a specific woman. I know plenty of black women who don't even who's not even on social media. That's why these conversations are so.
And the ones that's not on social media, they in their whole phase right now. That's why they ain't on social media. They hiding them
Oh my
skeletons in their
God!
closet.
Please, you are full of it. You are definitely trolling. I definitely must say that men will have sex with anything. And we're talking
I agree.
about specifically
But
a man. A man will have sex with a pig, a
they
donkey,
will.
nigga,
Oh, a
dog,
donkey sex is big in Colombia. It's just a thing. They had a Vice documentary.
right.
I'm not disputing any of these things. All I'm saying is I'm not disputing any of your arguments about men. But I'm saying, can we please look? This is, and you said that study ended in 2019. This is 2023. That's 4 years ago. What has happened over the last 4 years,
Well,
especially with women? Do you think they've gotten better or worse? Do you think they've been encouraged to be more openly sexual? And hot girl summer didn't happen since then, so all them statistics is skewed. None of those statistics matter anymore.
no,
It's been at least two
no,
hot girl summers since then. Them statistics did tripled since then. It's
no,
all over with.
because it's the stats as of December 14, 2022. It still says that 20% of men cheat and 13% of women cheat. I have updated
Do you think
stats.
really think women are
Go
being
go
honest?
to the CD. What do you think men are? It
Yeah,
says both of them
I
lie.
think a man will be more honest about cheating than a woman would. Women have the ability. Women are more devious, more nefarious than men can ever be. They will take that shit to the grave. Women will not
But
tell their friends that they're doing things.
these statistics ain't taking nobody's identity and plastering
It,
it
it,
across the world. You have no reason to lie when your name, your face, nothing will be revealed. So I mean, if you lie about that, then I mean that's just
but
crazy.
people lie just for the sake of lying. Like, people don't care. People will do something for who knows, right? You got people who will lie to you blatantly in your face when you know the truth. You might be holding the truth in your hand, and you're speaking, and they'll have any reason not, but they'll still do it. You can call them out, hey, you're lying. Why are you lying? And they'll still do it. So we know that there's a lot of reasons people not to lie, but they still will. Right? They still may feel something inside. They still may subconsciously feel, well, there could be a possible connection. Even though they told me that, people have distrust, maybe incentivized to take a survey. It could be a lot of factors. Like you said, in any situation, in any category, any way you look at anything, whether it be a conversation, whether it be people, whether it be societies, whether it be you can we can chop it up in all kind of different little segments and figure it out. But if we do that so often, we never proceed in conversation. And so that's why I speak in generalities. Like I acknowledge everything you're saying. Different women, different regions, different type of people, different socioeconomic classes, different backgrounds, different mentalities, educations. All of these things are factors. They are all extremely important factors in how people interact with one another, how the relationship between people go. But the reason why I speak in generalities is because if we dig that deep, we got to write a book, a college level,
Okay.
course.
All right.
So
So
I
look,
understand what you're saying.
so then when this is my thing, if that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
if that is okay, then black men should not be mad when black women say all black men do is beat on their woman and kill them.
But men
Men,
don't care.
if that's the case, if that is the case, then black women should be free to say that the study says that a black woman is killed every 6.5 hours in the United States.
Probably, but
plus
it's probably her own fault.
90,
More likely
90+% of them are by men. So, and
Yeah,
if it's okay to say if it's her fault, then it's okay for other people to say, well, the cop that killed a black person is his fault, or Pookie that got killed is his fault. If that's okay, and if that's okay, that for other races to say the black race ain't nothing. It's because there's some statistics to back that up. But if we're just going off of generalities, and if we're not going and actually taking a deep dive to respect other people who do not live in that way, if it's okay for you to say it, then it's okay for other races to say that the black race ain't about nothing. All they do is have babies, kill, be ghetto, and don't do nothing to progress.
and
So we gotta take it off.
I would not fault them for it. I'm a firm supporter of free speech. If that's how a person feels, they are entitled to their opinion.
No, we ain't talking about free speech. We ain't talking about free speech. We talking about you saying about what is. It also negating the facts behind what you're saying, what is. See, because what you saying and then what you see other black men on YouTube say, they say exactly what you say and more, but negate the facts. They don't say, and like how I always come with facts, you nor other do you black YouTube niggas, when they're talking to their audience, they don't say, well, I've done the research and I know for sure that X amount of women are trash and they lie to their kids about who their daddy is. Y'all don't come with facts.
How do you quantify that? How can you quantify
I'm
that?
using that as an example.
But how could you quantify
I'm using that as an example. Okay. I was using that as an example. Y'all don't come with facts. Y'all come with literally what you think, what has happened in your life, what have your friends or whatever told you, what you've seen on social media. That's what you go by. And that's not factual. That may be your experience in your little pocket of the world. I said, we got 40-something million black people. You can't possibly plaster, a whole group of people as one way when you ain't experienced, and you ain't experienced half of them or even a quarter of them. And then negate the facts, the data, the people that's done the research to actually get the facts. You can't just negate that. Okay. You feel me?
I understand. So once we do the stats and the data on that, then we have to go and do the stats and research on the researchers to make sure that they're not biased, which means we have to go fall all the way down the rabbit hole. No, you absolutely have to, because you have to understand what influences these researchers have, because there are plenty of studies that are biased depending on who's putting out the studies. There's a lot of big pharma, big agriculture who pay researchers and scientists to put out certain studies to say certain things. They're even paying diet influencers to promote fucking shitty foods now. So people will put money behind false research, right? To prove a point, to prove a narrative. And so that's why you, at that point, then you have to research the researchers, right? And so you have to go further and further down the rabbit hole. And the reason why I'm saying, again, it's not dismissing anything, and people can feel free to
It
say
is
what they
dismissing.
want. No, it's not. It's not. I acknowledge it, and it may be internal, but that doesn't deviate from my argument as a whole. Now, when I say I speak in generalities, and the reason I'm speaking on the majorities, the people who, if it's 50.1% compared to the 49.9, I'm going to speak the general of the 50.1%. It's not going to, it doesn't have to be the overwhelming majority of it, but if it's the majority, then that's the way I'm speaking. I know that there's going to be so
But
much nuance and deviance the more you dive into it, but that's going to take us down so many paths that you're going to have to get into the conversation about why, the psychology behind things, the origin. I mean, it's
what's
gonna,
wrong with knowing that though?
there's nothing wrong with knowing it, but if you're having one particular conversation, it's going to detract from your ability to really solve that issue, because you're going to have to cross and traverse so many other different things to get to a point. It almost makes it, I would say it makes it pointless, but you're doing too much to express one point, to express an idea. You have to do too much.
So
So
so let me say this, and this is how I know that you and your people meaning your YouTube fellow minded people. And I don't know if you're trolling or not, but I feel like you're trolling. You have to be. If let's say social media was not a thing, let's say Instagram, Facebook, Twitter's, TikTok, and TokTik, let's just say that wasn't a thing. I 1000% would guarantee that you would not have this opinion.
why not?
I guarantee you. Because you're getting most of your information, most of it. You're getting most of it because you're not going to tell me that in your real life, all this stuff you be talking about, all this high amounts of stuff, you're not going to tell me in your real life that's predominantly what you see all the time. You're just not going to tell me that. That's why I know that social media is literally, if you take social media out of it, you won't be saying it.
You know, I'm not.
And I know you're not.
I'm not that active on social media. I'm not that active
Nigga,
on YouTube.
stop it.
I'm really not.
Stop it.
Do you if you look at my social media accounts, all you see is me posting what time the den is coming on.
Nigga, that don't got nothing to do with you
So, but what I'm saying,
scrolling.
so what I'm saying is, you're talking about me. I don't pay attention. If I watch it, I watch Tai Chi videos. I watch homesteaders. That's the type of shit I don't watch. Off the wall ghetto shit. I don't watch niggas complaining because I don't have the same
So
problem
you
with
don't be on
women.
the blog.
The who?
You don't be on the blogs. So if you
No,
don't be
I don't
on
be on the
social
blog.
media like that, then why, when we discussing something that's on the blog, why do you know about it then? Tell
What
me.
are you
Because
told me
most of everything that we talk about that's on the blog, you already know about.
What do I know? I knew about Papoose and Remy,
We're not
and I
going
don't
down the
even
list.
I don't even know that. You the one that told me about some shit that was going on with what's his name. If I'd have known about that, I'd have probably talked about that because that'd have been a much more compelling story. What's his name? The big grandma drag. Tyler Perry.
Nigga, stop it. You grasping for straws
You told me
because
about Tyler Perry. You came in and you said, why you ain't talking about Tyler
of
Perry talking about
course,
black women? So you said that was a big thing that
one
was going on.
thing.
Okay, what else do I
Right,
know?
one
What
thing.
other celebrities do
You
I talk
know,
about?
nigga, you not gonna tell me that you don't be scrolling on your, so you just not gonna tell me that.
Do you know what I do? You want to know? I'll tell you my secret to when it comes to celebrity topics. I'll tell you exactly how I find out what's going on. I will be in search of a topic. I will get on Twitter and I will see if anything's in the trending thing for a celebrity name. Right? There's a thing also called Google Trends, and I will look on there to see what's going on if something is trending. And if I see a celebrity name trending, if I care slightly enough to check it out, I'll look into it. I might read an article or two to try to familiarize myself, and that's about as far as it goes. So when it comes to a lot of these topics, that's
Okay,
why I say I use celebrities as a foundation for a conversation, because that's all they are. For celebrities are representatives. They don't mean anything. They're honestly, I know the people I idolize, they're worthless to me. I think they're jokes. Like I don't view celebrities as this higher entity or this, they work for you. They're your entertainment. They just get paid a lot. So
Nigga, that
I don't.
doesn't mean that you don't see random videos of people in the
But,
community
but what I'm saying,
dressing a certain way.
I live a life. Okay, so don't get into it, y'all. I present to y'all what I want to present to y'all on um the YouTube, and this is majority. You get the majority of me, but there is also a more extensive element. I get out and about. I interact. I make associates. I go places. I do things. You know what I mean? And so I'm in public. I see people. I have conversations. I notice trends as to how people operate now versus when I was younger and maybe a little bit more out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see things with my own eyes. I have my own experience, and I can speak from my own. If you know, a lot of the stories I share are from my own personal experience, places I've been, things I've seen, stuff. Some things I may leave certain details out to protect parties involved, or I don't want y'all going to my favorite spots or whatever it may be.
So
So
you really digging yourself deeper because unless you've traveled to, I say, even half of the state, nigga, unless you've
well,
traveled, because now you're pushing yourself deep on the
okay, but
Spartan.
here's
Because
the thing. I don't
because
have to
what
travel
you're
to half the
saying,
state. Black people are not that complicated. Black women especially. They do the same thing from
what?
state to state. Black women speak internet speak. Black women over here in New York saying it's giving this. The black women in California saying it's giving this. The niggas in Texas saying they all speak the same. They all talk the same. They all enjoy the same shit.
Absolutely.
85% the same woman. You're gonna have a little bit of deviation here. This one might be thick, this one might be slim, this one might actually have real hair. This one gonna have that long ass yaki dragging on the floor, think she Rapunzel. It's not a lot. Like, as much as people want to feel that we're super special, we're super unique, we're super different, in reality, we're not all that different. I'm sure you probably looked into marketing and advertising and things like that. You're a business owner, so you understand that there's generally a formula to market to people. And it generally works on the majority of people, depending on what it is you're pushing. That's why advertisers make the big bucks. Why? Because people generally think the same. They generally respond to the same cues. They generally have the same behavior, especially if they're in a relatively similar demographic. So from New York to Milwaukee to Miami to Oregon to wherever they may be, right? And it's generally the same. You know when you're in the hood in one of these cities. You know when you're in a more predominantly black area in one of these cities. Again, what else do I need to know? Well, look at what's the black mecca? Atlanta. That should tell you everything. That's where everybody going. All the black folks are migrating. Shit, I ain't gotta leave Houston. Everybody moving to fucking Houston. All the so-called bad the bitches was bad in Houston before all these out of towners start coming. Like, I see them. They all are relatively the same. And I get it. We all have little unique traits that make us special, but for the most part, and I'm saying the same with myself. I don't think I'm that special. I'm pretty sure there is uh, a 92% honcho out there. You might do a couple little things different and multiple, right? So all
All
I'm
right,
saying
well,
is just that,
if
you know,
that's the case, then look, if that's the case,
hmm,
then most of us men is just niggas, and we're violent, we're sexual deviants.
could be the
We
case.
don't have money. We don't build. We don't further our community. We're literally zombies, drug addicts. I mean, if that's the case, then look, I'm gonna go because I believe in fairness. So if that's the case for them, then that's the case for us.
Okay.
And you know, I ain't here to change your mind. I'm just here to see that you don't fell off a cliff a little bit. I don't care what nobody says. You fell off a cliff. You fell off the cliff. You don't jump off the cliff.
Hey,
Cause
baby.
see, and whether you agree or not,
Mm-hmm.
up here, nigga, whether you agree or not, up here on your show,
Uh-huh.
nigga, when you get old, you gonna think about this, and you gonna say to yourself that was right, and I don't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to say that don't animals, the most natural beings out here, don't male animals, let's see, don't they try to show aggression with other animals to win the female animal? or fight other males to win the female animal or bring food to the female animal. Isn't that how nature works?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the men
Something like
go
that.
out and build their little, the little beaver mill, go out and build whatever. Don't the ants go out and build a colony for the queen? I mean,
Queen is a
this is
whore.
nature. This is nature. So you got males who claim that animal is the most a natural thing out here. Nature is the most natural thing out here, and you're going against nature. Yet
How
you're
so?
saying you're right.
So
You're
wait,
going against because you're men complain. Niggas are
but
complaining
okay,
about providing
okay,
and
but they're not complaining about again the animals that are fighting and bringing it back to. They're not bringing it back to the female animal that acts just like them. The female animal knows its place. The female animal, there's a structure, there's a hierarchy. The female animal, the female lioness, is not trying to be the leader of the pride. The fucking I don't know how the hyenas work, but I would assume Whoopi Goldberg ain't trying to lead the hyena pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, animals have structure. Wolves, any animal you look at, the elephant, the big bull elephant, like, and again, look at the lion pack. We're talking about animals, we want to talk about nature. Guess what? The lion got a bunch of bitches. And them bitches ain't complaining. They all fall in line. Big bull elephant got a bunch of bitches. They ain't complaining. They all fall in line. A lot of these animals, we want to go to nature. A lot of these prides, these herds, these whatever you want to call it, is one man and a bunch of animal bitches. And he's getting busy. The crocodile, that nigga ain't playing. He got a bunch of crocodile bitches. You know what I'm saying? So if we're gonna go to
and
nature, then the man is
and
supposed
he's
to be
on
doing
his
it. He
job,
can't have
right?
a whole phase because it's natural.
But the male is on his job though. With that, black men can't even handle one woman.
Well,
You
we
can't
can't
even
be on the
keep
job
up with a
because
one.
your job is to go out and fight the world to provide to bring back home to the woman, not to go out and fight the world and turn around and fight the bitch when you get home too. That's the problem that we're having, right? That's
The
the issue.
animals don't fight with each other. The male and female the male and female lion don't
Man,
fight with
the only
each
not
other.
only action the male and female lion. Look, the female lion, she kind of snarl her teeth. That nigga, he put that paw on the back of her neck, then he bite that nape, and he, and he shut up, bitch, and he get it, and then she shut up, and they do their lion thing, and everything is good, and that's the pride is back to being happy. You feel me? So, I mean,
Yes, nigga.
it's not that complicated.
So look, I'll leave you with one question. I see the chat going off. The chat is lovely. They saying that you in your full throne at this point, and them niggas is just as delusional as you.
Mm,
In 5 trills, third coast, them
mm,
niggas is just as delusional as you.
mm.
But I leave with this. What is this? What is this conversation? What is it going to do? How is it going to solve anything with niggas, with black men and their way with women? What kind of understanding is it giving? What's the point?
I feel like this.
Men are solutions, right? Men create solutions, right?
We are, but
What's
again, and so I think this is what we can get into the nuance like you like to get into nuance. There's men in our community, there's niggas in our community. And I'm not gonna say a lot of men don't have a little bit of nigga. You got to be
a
able to
little
have
bit?
you got but you gotta hear what I'm saying. You gotta hear what I'm saying. Because there are many good black men in the community who don't engage in this nonsense, engage in this tomfoolery, but guess what? They don't make noise. They go out and do what they're fucking supposed to do. So you don't hear from, you don't see those men don't get praise. You know why? Because their wives are at home knowing what they got. They got something good. They shut the fuck up. They make sure that man is happy and satisfied. He brings home the bacon and they're living life. They're not out on the scene. They're not trying to spend all this money to try to impress other bitches. They care about their family first. There's a lot of good men. Like, I can guarantee every man who's standing here cheering for me or whatever, knowing them personally and knowing the fields that they're in, I guarantee you they can tell you the same thing. Those men don't get because they do the jobs that aren't glorified because they're not trying to be a CEO. Nigga fucking me got to be about every broad barely making it, but feel like they should get the man money and try to make him a boss and a CEO. The nigga doing just fine without you. You know what I'm saying? He's making good money, but they want to always try to upgrade, try to amplify something when it's not necessary, overcomplicate shit. So my thing though about those men, there are good men who protect their families, take care. Men who will lay you down, will bury you. They ain't no gangsters. They not on no gang banging shit. They not on no thugging shit. But you come around, you fuck around, you gonna find out. Like I say, this again, and this is text. It's like so. This is normal shit. You know what I'm saying? Again, and each of these gentlemen will tell you the same thing. Like, and I'm pretty sure you talk to some other niggas. They'll tell you the same. I'm not saying it's not like that where you from, but we overlook it's like, to use a football kind of conversation, right? Offensive lineman is one of the most important positions on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing your job, you get no recognition. Nobody cares because everything is going right. If you're doing your job, somebody else is getting all the recognition because you're doing what you're supposed to. When you're not doing your job, then that's when all of the attention, all the bullshit, gets put on. Look, this motherfucker fucking up. So what we do is, again, we glorify niggas. And this is women, this is the youth, this is whatever. Real men ain't glorifying the niggasry. Because they see it as foolery, they see it as clown shit. But women, oh, that's sexy. Oh, he got his drawers hanging out. All that. They justify the tomfoolery, the niggery. So niggas who are weak minded or who are whatever, they're going to conform, that they're gonna be that or whatever they're gonna think they that. They're gonna buy into it, right? So the problem is
So doesn't
not
that
that.
make that man weak?
What'd you say?
Doesn't that make that man weak for falling
Yeah,
into
but
whatever?
that's what I'm going to saying, the difference between the man, the men, and the niggas. And so what I'm saying is that's the niggas. If they're gonna let that nigga shit overwhelm their mind and they're gonna embrace that nigga lifestyle, that's the niggas. We can't work with them. I'm a firm believer that it's a lot of motherfuckers that just not gonna make it. And I'm a firm believer, I said before, it's a lot of motherfuckers that you're gonna have to cut off. That's dead weight for people to elevate. Because it's a lot of motherfuckers that are holding us down as a race, right? And so I'm not against a lot of the stuff you're saying when they can say this. I'm not against a lot of the stuff you're saying, right? Because my whole mentality is, one, I can't represent everybody, right? I can only represent me. And when motherfuckers throwing around, we were talking about, and actually we need to have that conversation, but we were talking about racial epithets and things like that. The shit don't shake me because, to me, for that to stir you, you kind of got to see it in yourself somewhere. Some motherfuckers say, "Oh, look at you, nigger. What are you doing?" I'm a laugh because in no way, form, or fashion do I see myself like that. Now, if it becomes a situation where it becomes a threatening uh, approach, or however it's going to be action more than words. Let you make it. Okay, let's get active. But all that talking, all that rah rah shit, I'm a firm believer in not giving nobody remote control. Because if a motherfucker can come in and say, okay, I know I can get this motherfucker out, all I got to say is a word, and they're going to flip their shit, they're going to lose their shit and act irrationally, you letting the motherfucker trick you out your spot. Whether you feel justified in it or not. Okay, well, I said this, now that you can beat this motherfucker, now you done caught a case, or you done did this or did that, and now you frying yourself up. But a lot of times when people go to that type of shit, that's their last resort. That's their nuke. That's their kamehameha. That's the ultimate shit they got. You know what I'm saying? And so they're trying to go nuclear. And if you don't let that shit work, that shit drives people way crazier than you responding and giving them the shit they want. So, like, that's why I say a lot of stuff you say, I do have agreements. I think our big difference is generally when it comes to the male female aspects of certain relationships. A lot of the stuff when we're talking about racial stuff as a whole, we have a lot of things that we tend to agree on. I just think that the the relationship dynamic is where we definitely have some different disagreements. But yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent on some of that stuff towards the end of that.
Nigga, you still ain't told me
Mhm.
what's the point and how does it help men.
There's no, we can't save them. The ones who are going to benefit from this conversation are going to take what they need from it, right? They're not going to take the whole conversation and say, oh, everything they said was beneficial. It's going to be some shit that I said. They're going to be, that nigga Honcho was tripping. Hey, Ken made some sense here. They're going to say shit, that nigga Ken was tripping. Oh, Honcho made a little bit of sense. So people are going to take what they need from it. The motherfuckers who can't get anything from it, then, they're just not, they weren't going to get anything from anything. You know what I mean? So these little conversations it's not going to ever have a big massive wave effect. But if it wakes up a mind here, if it enlightens a mind here, that mind can go on to wake up another mind, to enlighten another mind. The whole, what's that, each one teach one type mentality. So it may take a whole lot of these conversations. We may not be the beneficiaries of these things. It may be the youth who sit here and say, man, all them old motherfuckers was tripping. They couldn't get it together. We was fucked up. We need to do something different. You know what? Hey, we need to come to an agreement as men and women or whatever. We need to get this thing back on track or whatever. We may not reap the benefits of it. We may be the ones who are sowing the seed. It may come down the line before those benefits come.
Why not make the conversation about doing what you just said that people behind you need to do? Why not you put forth that to do it instead of throwing it on the backs of people that come after us? Because my thing is, from the 70s on up, we haven't done anything. We haven't done anything. Each generation is supposed to give and do more to push the group forward. We haven't done anything. And like this is it's not doing anything. So that's what I'm saying. Like we black men supposed to be this big time,
We can't lead
preacher.
cats. We
Then
can't
why
lead.
not? It ain't about leading cats. It's about being the solution. That's what I'm talking about. It's about being that, because you talking about if one person get a seed and maybe then a long time, but then why not give them whatever you think that is? If women ain't X, Y, and Z, why not give that solution for more people to take that and get to wherever you're talking about men should be at?
But here's my thing. I can't. You can't give any, especially to a man. You can't give them any. They have to be seeking it. They have to want it. Like we can have the conversation, and like I said, it may be the man that just is seeking something. He might be going through, and they may hear that thing. That's what. Like I'm not. Again, I'm not on a mission to save the woman. Maybe some years ago, I would. I feel like honestly, I talk about it. Like we're on a downward spiral. I think it's more. I think it's more bad than good coming soon. I think it's going to take a lot of bad before it gets back good. So, and like I said, we may not be here to reap those benefits. The people who are now, and when I say the people down the line, I'm talking about the younger generation, like the other young Ken. Young Ken been fucking with the den since he was 15, something like that, young, and would come in here acting crazy, doing all kind of goofy stuff. But the older gentleman in the den would say, hey, man, that ain't kosher. This ain't, and he would take the bits and pieces that he needed and he adapt. And he's, for a gentleman his age, he's a stand-up dude. I was worried about him when he was young. He was kind of goofy, but for a gentleman his age, he's stand-up dude, much more mature than I was at that age. You know what I'm saying? And so those who want it will take it. Those who are receptive to it will take it, because it's going to be hard to push a lot of this shit to a lot of these young men nowadays, because a lot of these young men have very female-like traits, and you can't tell a woman nothing, right? And they're going to behave the same way. Just what we talk about, emotional gangsters, emotional niggas with guns. Ain't no gangsters. These niggas just act like hoes and they shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no gangster shit no more. Like it's a wash. So I can't save anybody. But if this conversation, if somebody picks something up from this conversation, you know what I'm saying? You set the table with this conversation, somebody picks up something from it and they can use it, then that's the best that somebody can hope for. You know what I mean? Like I don't think.
So and I kind of disagree because I feel like you have it in you to be the solution, but that is what that is. But I just want, when you guys have these conversations and go way to the left about how, us men, we got CEOs making X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. When y'all have these conversations, y'all are incorporating other races of men into what you're saying y'all are doing.
What do you mean?
Because when you talk about CEOs and men bringing in the money and doing all this, that, and the third,
but it's not about CEOs. The women want the CEOs. Men just want to work. Black men go get jobs in the oil field. They go hit the plant. They'll go do labor. But labor is looked down upon by black women.
I'm talking about when men have these conversations, they talk about how they bringing, they doing all the work, bringing money to the table, and women ain't satisfied, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But men ain't bringing more than 50, literally 20% $35,000 is what the average black man makes between 20 and 29. 41,000 is the average of from 30 to 39. And 40 to 49 is 51,000. And when you get older, it decreases. So the average black man ain't making more than $51,000, and that's at a particular age gap. So I just want, like, when men be talking about what they bring to the table,
and what are the women making?
I ain't looked that up because that's not the point because when I'm talking about when men are talking about what they bring into the table and X, Y, and Z, but I brought that up because you brought that up in what you said about CEOs and X, Y, and Z. I'm only saying that because I often hear in these conversations of when black men are talking about all this hard work they're doing and all this work that they're doing, but the stats don't back up because they're incorporating other races of men in what they're doing into black men. But you can't do that because you add in other people's work into yours.
I'm still not understanding because, like, even when I mentioned CEOs, I was actually being speaking on the CEO as a negative thing, as far as that's what people want instead of getting into the jobs that actually do the work. That's the shit people glorify. Black women want CEO, boss status. That's what black women want. They want that title. They want that flash. They want to be seen as some kind of boss, queen, diva, whatever you want to call it. You don't see black men running around doing that shit. Like the niggas who are. We got niggas. If niggas is doing nigga shit, we're not talking about niggas when we talk. We're not talking about niggas running the street when we talking about black men, right? Black men, they go to work, they work hard. They might get them some nice stuff. They might have a little bit of flash, a little something. They gonna get them a little project car vehicle they're gonna fix up or whatever. They may do a little something, but they're not gonna be over the top, right? Their first and foremost priority is their family and their name, their respect. Niggas in the streets is the ones that's doing anything, but niggas in the streets is the one that's fucking all the hoes. It don't matter if you a CEO, I keep going to CEO, but it don't matter if you a business broad, educated, it doesn't matter. These hoes all fucking on the same street niggas. Like, it doesn't matter. This is what these bitches attracted to. So whenever it's niggas ain't shit, it's them niggas that the same bitches all been fucking on. Yeah, they ain't shit because they all fucking all the same ones, y'all. It's a lot of niggas out here that's not getting no action, not getting no pussy. They ain't getting nothing. They just work. I know a lot of niggas don't get no hype. They work and they just build. They good men, but bitches don't fuck with them because they are not fly or flashy, or they don't have this certain appeal. Niggas may have a little money and hoes will use them for it because that's the only way the niggas know how to approach, but because he's not this, that, and the third. But a bitch can be a complete bum with no personality, and a nigga will pick that bitch up and try to, if he likes her enough, he will take her and try to make her into something. A bitch could kind of like an nigga, like, he ain't got no money, he ain't got this, and she don't see where she can come up, so she's not gonna fuck with him. You know what I mean? It's a difference, and men look at women way different than women look at men.
This is what I hear when you're saying that. I hear that many men who are of the stature that you're talking about, who work in whatever, they lack in areas that attract women. They may be corny, but if you have personality and you're corny and work, that may attract women. So it depends on what you have within you. But a lot of these men now, they don't have these types of things. They don't have swag. They don't have communication skills because of social media, sex apps, porn. There is low interaction with people now because of social media versus in the men of back in the day. But what I hear is women get it easy, men get it hard.
It is. I mean, it is. It's more difficult for men to progress on this planet than it is for women. When we're talking about no personality, most women don't have any personality.
This is what men don't understand, and this is why. Because y'all looking at stuff like, oh, we gotta work, whoop-de-whoop. But there's balance in everything. There's yin and yang. So where you gotta go out and take it out on dinner to get some cooch or to have money to get X, Y, and Z. But then on the other hand, you have benefits in other areas of being a male.
Like what?
The same way women have it easy with getting X, Y, and Z, but they have difficulties in other areas of being a female. So what I hear with these conversations is wham, 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 instead of looking at, yo, okay, I lose in this area, but I win in that area that women can't win in.
Well, it's
And
not
women
winning.
are,
Just because women can't do it doesn't mean it's a win in that area. It
well,
just means
I'm
that
using
women can't
the
do it.
wrong word. The wrong word. Benefits. There are benefits in privileges. That's what I'm looking for. Like how there's light skin privilege, tall privilege.
What's
Uh,
the
uh,
male
uh,
privilege?
okay, male privilege is you don't typically have to worry about being catcalled and being hit in the head with a skateboard if you don't give you their number.
Okay.
Men typically
A cat call.
men
If you
can
let a
protect
woman go,
themselves.
if a woman didn't get anything to say, oh man, stop cat calling, stop acknowledging the existence of women would go crazy in 48 fucking hours because they weren't getting the attention that they so desperately need and feed off of. So like I hear all that cat calling shit. Cat calling is only bad when it's niggas doing it that you don't think are attractive. If it was
But it's yeah, I
Brad Pitt and
agree.
so and everything, they'd be, oh, Brad Pitt, he whistled at me today. He called me a funky bitch. It was so lovely. Like, it's a double standard. So it's like, if it
I
was good for the goose,
but
it's good
it
for the gander. Women want
also
equality in every area but that.
but it also cannot be good to be walking down the street and get catcalled 20 times in a day. A
There's 20
woman
different
took
men.
a woman took a video, a hidden camera on herself and walked through New York City. She got catcalled about 40 times in one day.
Okay.
And
So how long did she walk?
that's not annoying.
How long
And
did
then
she
when she
walk?
says, oh, huh?
How long did she walk? About how many hours would you say she walked
She
around New
walked
York City?
like during the day. I forgot the
So
actual
would you say
hours.
maybe 8 hours?
It was out. Well, dang, I don't think she walked 8 hours. I mean, that's a
Uh,
pretty long. It
okay.
won't. It put it like this. It won't from morning to night. It was probably like from morning to late afternoon ish.
Okay. So it's even 6 hours. Would you say six, maybe 5, 6 hours?
Okay.
Okay, so 5 or 6 hours. And you said she was catcalled about 40 times. In New York City,
Yeah.
a very populated place. If you're a relatively attractive woman, walking around for let's say 5 hours straight, that means 8 times an hour. So every 7 or so minutes that you're walking around, that you get a little whistle, a little cat call, somebody say something to you. I don't think that's a big, huge deal. Like,
To
okay, well,
you,
you're obviously attractive.
but what if you got something going on in your day? The last thing you want to hear is someone cat calling you.
What?
I mean that.
Go
Okay.
outside.
Oh, okay. All right. So boom. So boom. So what if you walking down the street, right? What
Yeah.
if you walking down the street and a bunch of gay niggas like, yo, honcho, and yo, not honcho, but yo, you looking good, pa. Because if we talking about women only get mad when it's a guy that they don't like or they're not attracted to, then what about men that might be catcalled by a gay dude and they're straight?
Well, so what?
They don't want to hear that. They
Don't
don't
want to
want to
hear it,
hear it.
and you address it, and then you move on. Like,
No, they'll end up fighting or
no,
getting
absolutely not.
or killing.
It was look at the job I was working prior to this one. It was a gay dude that tried to make a pass, and man, I had to check the shit. I'm like, look, me dog, we don't go down like that. And I did it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Addressed it and move on. I didn't make a big deal. I didn't take it as an insult and all that. Now, and he may have put his hands on me, touched me, and that's a whole different story. But
But that's you're more evolved. You're more evolved than the typical black man. The typical black man is it might lead to violence.
it
It
could.
might lead.
I
It's
mean, but
not
I'm not gonna.
violent. It's gonna lead to some vicious words going
No,
on
and I'm
and
not even
some
gonna say I'm
pretending
natty.
like you're
I'm not
going
even gonna
right.
say I'm natty evolved. You feel me? Like shit, you kept me around. I was at the job, so that might have been part of the reason why I don't want to do my job right now. Let me be, So I'm not even gonna try to give myself that credit. But it's not always gonna be that. If you on your way, if you have a bigger concern, you're not even registering these cat calls. If you really on your way to do whatever. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not dangerous for women, that there is not a threat. Um, out there, depending on what it is and what you're doing. But again, it's the same thing. Like if I know I'm in somebody's hood I'm not supposed to be in and it's dangerous, why would I go there? Right. So it's like it's certain things you know are fucked up that you know are not right. So it's like don't put yourself in situations where that could occur.
But how can you, because what you did and what many men do when we have this conversation, it invalidates the woman's feelings and experiences. But on the other hand, you want your feelings and your experiences to be validated. Because if you got women saying that being catcalled many times during the day is annoying, and then when you say, because in that video, the woman said she'll say thank you and keep walking, and then he'll keep going. Because once you give a nigga a little bit of attention, he gonna think you like her. She said, oh, thank you, kept walking. He said, you got a boyfriend? Yeah, I do. Is he pleasing you right? Nigga, leave me alone. Leave me alone. It don't just stop at, Mom, you looking good. It keeps going. If she says thank you and smile, 9 times out of 10, he's going to keep going. If she has an attitude and rolls her eyes, 9 times out of 10, he's going to say F-U-B. So you lose either way. So that's what I'm saying. Like, in order, there's black men and black women just fail to understand each other because both sexes invalidate each other's experiences. And how can you understand one another when both just keep invalidating one another? You feel me?
You think we should all just leave each other alone?
You know what, Ancho? I think so too. I think black men need to go and just go your way with your passport bro stuff. Just go, just leave. Just leave. Go to your white women's and your Puerto Ricans. Just go. Black women, go get your cats. Go get a Puerto Rican nigga or Asian. No, they too racist. Go get a Puerto Rican nigga. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in that area. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just separate. And at this point, I don't even care about preserving the black race. I don't even care anymore.
But the black race has been split, and women did it.
Oh right, okay. It's all women. It's
did.
Always in all these conversations.
It is, and I can prove it. It is, and I can prove it. It is. Women did, and I can prove it. But see, we didn't have, and like I said, I enjoy having conversations with you. We have gone way over the allotted time. And so I don't want to cut it short because the conversation is getting very good. I'm gonna slide in the Discord. I might still already be in there.
Nigga, you ain't gonna talk nothing. You gonna get in there and press me like you always.
I'm gonna talk this evening. Because the other night I was having a good conversation. So I was ear hustle because I was washing dishes and I didn't want to make all that noise. And then after that, I was just kind of chilling. But it was a very good conversation. I was actually very appreciative. I was sitting back and I was thinking, it's amazing. That's kind of what I mentioned earlier in the stream. It said it's amazing that in the Discord, all these people of different backgrounds, different places, don't know each other from Adam and Eve, can come together and have a somewhat relatively civilized conversation. It has its peaks and its valleys, but and I think it's beautiful. And to me, it's a microcosm. It's like, if we can do this by being somewhat similar, why can't the rest of the world? So that's why I always find it very fascinating. But again, it's a different situation. But and then sometimes the Discord is better than the damn real world, because this is the real world. Ain't no scripting, ain't no whatever. So it's good to hear people and know how they feel. But I will be in there tonight because we were having a good conversation. I definitely want to keep that going. There's a couple other points I want to make. But I want to get all these non-Discord participants. We're gonna get them out of here. Then all of the real true den folk gonna hop in the Discord. We're gonna talk about everybody like that.
Jacko, wacko.
All right. But again,
all right, my bro. Thanks for having this in-depth conversation.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you for calling in, and I'll chop it up with you here in a bit.
All right, bro.
Thanks, sir. All right. So, and this is the den. This is what makes it great. Like I say, me and Mr. Kid, a lot of times though, because we end up agreeing to disagree. But and that's the thing about it. I'm not that type of. I think that's always kind of like a weird thing. I've seen people who had channels like, you don't agree, you ain't 100%. They like, You say something, you deviate. You get the fuck out of here, then. Fuck you with your bitch ass. Like, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to learn. Like, I'm on a perpetual learning journey, right? I want to know what I can know. I ain't gonna learn it all. Nobody ever gets to know it all. But if we share each other's experiences, understanding, and things like that, I think it helps us all grow as a people. I've learned a lot from each and every one of y'all. But here's the deal. I'm already in the Discord, so you can't beat me there. I'll put the link in there. We're gonna keep this conversation going. A lot of things that have been said tonight that need to be addressed. At some point tonight or over the weekend, I'm going to get a. I'm gonna get a. I'm gonna have to get a better phone service. Right, say right now I've just been using this Google Voice one, but I'm gonna have to find one because I'm starting to feel like, and maybe it's just me. Y'all drop a 0 in the chat if you feel like it's a no. Y'all drop a 1 if y'all feel like it's a yes. I'm starting to feel like within the if I keep consistent within the next 2 weeks, we're going to end up needing a den debate. I'm not saying anybody specifically, but I'm just feeling like, there's been a lot going on. I've been noticing the energy in the chat, energy in some of the calls thing, and I'm feeling like, so I'm gonna have to get a line that'll allow us to do the conference call and get everything like we used to do. And I'm not saying that it's a guarantee, but I'm just feeling like it feels like some people may need to have some discussion. But until then, we'll definitely do it in the Discord. Make sure you're following all the proper social medias. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Honcho HTX on TikTok. I know you be TikTok. Follow me on the damn TikTok. I might cha-cha now, y'all. All the other descriptions you need to load in the link in the channel. I'm gonna get the Patreon back active. It's some things I want to do with the den. It's just about getting things in order. I got a lot of ideas. I just gotta know where to put what. Anyway, I'm done. I'm out. I fuck with y'all. I appreciate y'all. Dear fuck y'all are wonderful. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. All this stuff. And put the Discord link in the thing one more time. But I do feel like I'm feeling like it's definitely been some it's been some awesome. And so here's my thing. And that's funny because I thought about that today. I sat there, man, I was going on a rant about the sauce to somebody today. And it's just I've been, because I like doing the sauce. I like having things happening with the sauce. And there's some things I want to do. And I started, and then the first week, like I said, I was sick for the game. I had some shit set up, and it just kind of, after that, I felt like I had used the shit and I did the shit and didn't use it in my, just kind of like, but we got to. And then I was like, I don't want to do that this week because we actually fucking won. Everybody, you want to come back because we fucking won. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But anyway, Discord. We'll talk about it. Discord, all that good stuff. Y'all know what's happening right now. Like I'm just talking at this point. I'm going to randomly hang up the screen. I put the link in there. I'm gonna be in the Discord. You got the link in the Discord. It's like it only works for like the first 10 clicks. So you better hit that Discord link. If not, you know what I'm saying? It's over with. So I'm out. I'm gone. I done warned y'all. I told y'all. I'm trying to told you, and you ain't want to listen. Y'all just hard headed.